the NCAA Men's College World Series Finals. Game 1.
Injuries. Braden Montgomery, of course, he broke his ankle. He's out. That's a 27-homer guy with a plus 300 average and a superstar high draft pick. He is right there. He has been leading the cheers and the chants, but he's not going to have an impact on the field as we get set for our first pitch of Game 1 of this World Series. With a sellout crowd, standing room only, the NCAA announced early this afternoon there were no tickets left. Gavin Grahovac leads things off. Stamos, the lefty, is ready. Wind blowing gently out towards center field. And we are underway with a World Series and a strike 1 from Stamos to start.
For Stamos, fastball is going to be right at 90. He's got 2 different breaking balls. But one thing to remember, in 2 of his last 3 starts, intentionally as an opener, he's only got a third of an inning.
Lefty deals in Grahovac. Third baseman and freshman fouls that off. Yes, Tony Vitello, there is no script before the game. As he said, we kind of vibe things out. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason to number of pitches, number of innings that he may be in there. And then they'll give way to A.J. Causey, who's got 13 wins, most by a Tennessee pitcher in a long time. We'll set the defense after the pitch as Stamos is set on the 0-2. And Grahovac sends this one to right. That sends Chapman back. He's still going back. How about a leadoff home run on 2 strikes for Gavin Grahovac? 1-0 Aggies.
Well, we said it was going to be offensive. The wind blowing out. It is not a night to give up fly balls, and the first one of the evening sails into the right field seats. You talk about a fired up Aggie dugout trying to climb the ladder here late in the count, and Grahovac just gets the barrel to it, and all you got to do is backspin it up in the air tonight. It's got a chance to go, especially to the corner. See Chapman run out of room on a ball that easily sails into the seats. 1-0 Aggies.
Grahovac's got the orange number. He went 2 for 5 with 2 homers in the supers against Tennessee. As the first pitch to Laviolette is high. That was on an 0-2 pitch. And Grahovac took him out to right. Tennessee goes into a shift against Laviolette. He's dealing with a right hamstring issue. Hard for him to run. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, these teams only played one time during the regular season in Hoover. And Aggies didn't do a ton there that day, but Grahovac with 2 homers staying hot against the Vols and limited number of at-bats.
Freshman record for Grahovac. That was his 23rd, his 5th leadoff homer. The 2-0 to Laviolette, that is down. And since he hurt his hamstring, guys, he's 0 for 6.
A.J. Causey was stretching and had the bands out right when this inning started. And I would assume he is going to have a baseball in his hand very quickly.
Laviolette, a .306 hitter regular season. Will they green light him? And they take it. It's a strike 3-1. 28 home runs for the sophomore. Stamos 3-1 popped up, and now they're going to have to move. Left fielder went out. Dreiling now coming in. Does he see it? He does, and there is 1 man out. Most successful A&M team in near 80 years of history. They beat Florida 6-0 on Wednesday night to move into the finals. They got 52 wins, 13 losses, and there you can see the righty Causey, who's a completely different look than the lefty on the mound, and a different look by right-hander standards. Jackson Appel, the catcher, the senior. Inside, ball 1. Three-hole hitter with 32 walks and 32 strikeouts. A good eye as he bangs one in there for a strike. L2, like others, dealing with injuries. Obviously, as a catcher's been nicked up, shoulder, hitting a variety of places with baseballs, but feeling much better today. On the 1-1, that's a called strike. Like Morris, it's 1-2.
This is an A&M offense that's beat up. Obviously, no Montgomery, but Laviolette not moving great as he wasn't the other day. Appel, as most catchers are this time of year, has taken his share of licks during the course of the season.
On a 1-2, that's down.
Braden Montgomery turned photographer during this. I kind of like that.
He's dialed in, making himself useful.
Third year in a row he's been here. Broke his ankle in Supers. Leads the SEC with 85 driven in the last 2 seasons before this. Came to the College World Series with Stanford.
2-2 on the way to Appel. Heard the grunt. That's a fair ball down the line. And Appel, who's dealing with a hamstring of his own, sees it go into the corner. He will stop at second base. A home run and a double for the Aggies here in the first.
Couple pretty swings here, KP, just controlling the barrel. This ball's in there.
Yeah.
Like, and Appel just really commands the bat head here. A fastball designed to jam the Aggie catcher, and he gets the bat head to it, keeps it fair past Amick. And boy, the Aggies look sharp. This is an offense that was struggling coming into this game here in Omaha. But boy, do they look sharp here early.
Hayden Schott, the DH, the senior, hitting 400. He's 4 for 10 in Omaha. That pitch is in there for a strike. He's a .370 hitter with runners in scoring position this season. That is second only to the injured Montgomery. Moore at second base is about 15 feet into the outfield.
Tennessee saw what I did, which is Jackson Appel hopped. He almost went on the first pitch. And this is something the Aggies want to do. They don't steal a ton, but they steal at a very, very high percentage. And Tennessee not known for paying a whole lot of attention to base runners. That's part of the Aggie game plan in this series.
And if anybody's going to go, it's likely him. He's got 15 stolen bases. Doesn't get a piece of the corner. We're even at 1. Appel, who is the catcher, was basically an infielder growing up. And he kind of misses that idea of playing on the infield, but he loves being behind the plate, controlling the game. And now he's got a pretty decent lead with Curley, the shortstop, looking in behind him, and that one is to the seats.
You got back-to-back Ivy League transfers in the middle of this Texas A&M lineup. One of them standing on second base, one of them at the plate right now. Jackson Appel from Penn, Hayden Schott from Columbia. Both have been integral to how good this offense has been all year.
Both of Appel's parents went to A&M. He was an undergrad at Penn. 1-2 to Schott. They'll turn around and take a throw there.
Yeah, that's the second time.
Right. That's the second one, so that's a ball. So we go 2 balls, 2 strikes. Back up the middle, takes a hop off the mound, a tough hop, and no play for Curley. It's short. Hayden Schott rolled it straight back up the mound like a bowling ball hitting the head pin, and it took off. And Curley had a short hop, and all of a sudden, first and third for the Aggies.
Good things happen when you put the baseball in play. You just never know exactly what it's going to be. It takes a high hop off the mound, and then I think creates a much more difficult hop later for Causey. He has to guess that one. You can't come get the short one. Can't way back and get the big hop. Schott is hurt just like a lot of this A&M offense. He's not running great, but enough right there to beat it out. 3 hits in the inning, a single, a double, the leadoff home run, and Tony Vitello makes his way out.
They're going to give an error to Curley on the play at shortstop. These conversations obviously happen every time that Stamos has started. He has come out of the game here recently. He said, we'll talk about movies and other things. I'm not sure the conversation is as light as it's been at other times. Aggies threatening for more. They got a big bomb from Grahovac to lead things off on an 0-2 pitch. They're in business, and here comes Causey to try to shut it down. He'll watch and he will cheer as Grahovac took him out. Wasn't in the Supers, he was in the SEC tournament that he had a couple of homers against him, and here he starts the game. Now first and third, they turn it over to Causey. His 13 wins, the most by a Tennessee pitcher since Luke Hochevar had 15 in 05. 4.21 ERA KP, 120 strikeouts in 87 2/3 in each pitch.
There is plenty of swing and miss, and for Causey, they just like the feel of him coming out of the bullpen as opposed to starting the game. Fastball's going to be right around 90, could show you a little bit more. It's at low three-quarters action. The changeup is his best swing and miss pitch to righties and lefties. Slider gets a bunch of swing and miss against right-handers as well. Feels like if you're Tennessee right now, if Causey can go get you 5 or so, that's a pretty good number.
And that's been the formula most all season, is whenever they give him the ball in game one, he gives them length. He did not give them length against Florida State on Friday night. Inning and 2/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, and a couple walks. So trying to bounce back from a rough first outing here at the World Series.
So the righty, after being moved into a relief role, last 9 weeks he's been dominant. Helped beat LSU, he helped beat Kentucky, he beat Missouri, Florida, Vanderbilt, and now the biggest stage in the first pitch, sweeps outside, ball 1. Since he's been moved back into that role, 8-1, 2.57 ERA. He's earned the win in 7 straight outings. We are just in the top of the first, and the Aggies strike first as Burton looks at one in there for a strike. Ted Burton's the first baseman. He is a senior. 292 on the season, 9 home runs for this team. 44 runs batted in. He's got a Pell at third and Schott, who doesn't run well at first. Needs that pitch on the corner. He gets it, and it goes 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's a good sign. Big part of the problem for Causey against Florida State in game 1 of this World Series was the fastball was flat, and he doesn't beat you with velocity, he beats you with movement. That one had a lot of late run.
Burton's been clutch with runners in scoring position. 365, but he strikes out there on a nasty sinker.
There's 2 in a row. A backdoor 2-seamer to get it to 2 strikes, and this one just starts in the middle and lets it go. Watch the late life on this, and you can see just boring in on the hands of Ted Burton right there underneath the barrel. You are right. If you're Tennessee, that's a good early sign. Causey was not sharp his first time out. Early returns tonight. He's got his good stuff.
Grahovac, a freshman, homered. Here's another freshman, Caden Sorrell. He's the left fielder. He's having a very good College World Series at 300 with a double and a homer, 4 RBI. Away. Billy Amick is at third base. Dean Curley, the shortstop. Moore is at second. Blake Burke has been outstanding offensively. He's at first. Dylan Dreiling. Kavaris Tears is in center tonight. Reese Chapman is in right. Hensley will be the DH, and Cal Stark is the catcher. The 1-0 on the way. That one is laced up the middle. That's going to be an RBI. He left it up. Schott's going to try for third. Tears' throw comes in, and he is there safely. Another freshman delivers. The Aggies got 2 on an RBI single from Sorrell.
About the young kids in this first inning now. Grahovac gets it going with a solo home run, then Berkey back-to-back changeups, and Sorrell stayed on it.
Yeah, that's a changeup just up. It's out, but it's up. And Sorrell's able to hook that one into right center field. The Aggies go first to third to continue to put the pressure on, and felt like they needed another one here after putting all that early pressure on to not let Tennessee off the hook with just 1. The Aggies coming out swinging a really hot bat here early.
So their ace, Ryan Prager, will take to the mound with the lead. And here is Ali Camarillo. He is the shortstop. Just 2 for 10 here in Omaha with a double, a triple, and a couple of walks. Missing away, 1-0. Sorrell's got 8 stolen bases. He took a chance shot with that banged up leg going all the way from first to third, and a ball to center field. 2-0.
Shot looks like he's really struggling to move, but we've seen him score from first on the double. He obviously was able to get down to first base line on the chopper to Curley, and there he just goes first to third.
He did not hesitate. The minute that ball was hit, he was thinking third.
Runner goes, Sorrell. They will not throw down. They won't have a chance. As Stark couldn't handle it. And now 2 in scoring position. Sorrell steals his 9th of the season.
I think early indications from A&M that they're going to be active on the base pass. They almost stole third base, ended up putting the brakes on that time. The freshman off and running.
Top of the first, 2-zip. Here is the pitch. Swing and a miss. 91. And we go 2-1 to Camarillo, who was a Little League star. He played for Parkview Little League out of Chula Vista. He's one of these guys that now has played in the Little League World Series and the College World Series. 2-2. On a play. And the big stage hasn't bothered him on the season, running runners in scoring position, a 260 hitter here in the NCAA tournament. Charlie Camarillo is 5 for 12. That's a 417 average. He's got a couple of ducks out there. Shot and Sorrell. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Changeup got him. But A&M gets to Tennessee in the first. The program record set in 1990. In 3 games, they have 37 strikeouts. But it's not easy against this lineup. In a lot of ways, it looks and feels as close to a major league lineup as a college lineup can be. And more will be playing at the next level. Second baseman, a junior, 6'1", out of Brooklyn, New York. In this World Series, he's hitting .571. Swings at the first one, and that's a souvenir for a fan here.
So matchup to watch in this game is how Tennessee does against that elevated fastball. On the year, this Tennessee offense has hammered fastballs, but it's been mostly in the middle to bottom part of the zone. Prager likes to elevate the fastball. You see him jam more there with that first one. It's going to be definitely something to circle between Prager and this Tennessee offense.
The one and another one out of play. Another strike from Prager.
That's the one they want, right? That's that one right in the middle of the thighs, and more just a little tardy with the barrel there.
That's the one they want, and that's the one he's not trying to throw. You could see the glove there of Jackson Appel was up at the top of the zone. Prager missed his spot, but got away with it.
There's the high one. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Berkey's point, upper third, the batting average 279. Get it down. It goes way up. Down in the bottom, it's almost 400 with a slug of 739.
Yeah, the slug is obscene when the ball is middle to the bottom.
They've homered in 63 of their 70 games, and now it's even at 2-2. When Chris said that Moore tries to slow everything down, how do you as a hitter do that?
I think your breathing, your routine in between pitches, all those kinds of things, just trying to really stay present and not try to do too much. A guy like Christian Moore doesn't need to get the bat head out to do damage. He can catch it deep and still launch one.
2-2. This is popped straight up on the infield. Camarillo, the shortstop. And there's one down, a big out for Prager as he threw him an off-speed pitch.
4 straight fastballs to start that at bat, then the changeup that even though it was elevated, the velocity difference was about 14 or 15 off of what that fastball was, enough to get Christian Moore out in front.
Here comes Blake Burke, another big-time long bomb threat, the first baseman, the junior out of Brentwood, California. He's been great in this College World Series, as you can see. Homer, 5 RBIs. There you go. And a left-on-left delivers. And that is just down. 1 ball, no strikes. It's a Tennessee team that is equal opportunity success against lefties or righties. There's very little discrepancy in the numbers. And the sun can be a factor in the outfield for both the left and center fielder.
Yeah, shadow is always a factor this time of day. You can tell certainly the case here this evening. Prager standing in the sunlight, the hitter in the shadows. It can always be a challenge for the hitter to pick up the seams in these conditions.
A 1-1 count to Burke. Inside 2-1. They saw him for what, $1 2/3 in the SEC tournament. Anything to take from that? I know it was so short.
Not a ton.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's you'd rather have seen him than not, but
right.
The outing was pretty short.
And that was by design. 1 out, 2-1 pitch.
Oh, here you go, Jack.
2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a very aggressive offense the coaching staff has instilled in these guys, and it's been a 3-year process of grinding with Vitello and his staff, trying to get the best out of Burke. He hits .317 with 2 strikes, and this one is lifted in the air. Shallow left field. Can Sorrell see it? It is a diving effort in foul territory, but it drops. He battled the sun the entire way.
Ball stayed in the air a long time. I think off the bat, you're on the mound, you're thinking that's going to be an out somewhere. And Caden Sorrell, late jump as far as when he really started going. I don't know if he didn't pick it up right away, but that was the difference. Lays out at the end, just off the end of that glove. If the break is right, I think he makes it on his feet.
Yeah. The shadows for the hitters and the sunlight for the left fielders. Always part of the story when it's sunny here at Charles Schwab Stadium.
And as you can see, it is a bright sunshine here. Prager ready on a 2-2. Called strike 3. For a strikeout, like a change up again, and he's got 2 down on 2 up.
He'll go left on left changeup. We talked about it at the beginning with Prager. I mean, it's either fastball, slider, changeup, and you can about flip a coin in any count. This one may have been just a bit down, but it wasn't down too much. Blake Burke definitely thought it was. Changeup called for a strike, first strikeout of the night for Ryan Prager.
Well, all 3 of these guys will likely hear their name early in the draft. This is Billy Amick, the third baseman, a junior out of South Carolina. Swings at the first pitch, and that changeup works again. It's 0-1. Prager looks very comfortable right now.
Yeah, he really pulling the string on that changeup. The velocity difference giving these Tennessee hitters trouble. You said it, KP, about 12 to 14 miles an hour off the heater so far, and none of them had been able to stay back.
Same thing.
3 in a row. Changeup to get Burke looking. Now changeup's the first 2 pitches to get out in front of Amick, 0-2.
And he pulls it foul. Tennessee has scored about half their runs, a little more than half by the home run this year. But here in Omaha, only 8 of their 25 have been a result of the long ball. And 14 of those 25 homers have come with 2 outs. The 0-2 inside.
At 52% of Tennessee's runs this year have come via the home run. That's the top percentage in the country. Guess when you had 178 of them, that makes some sense.
Yeah. 1-2.
Yep. Not a single fastball yet in this AB.
And not a lot of balls thrown either by Prager.
And it's interesting, like Max Wiener, the pitching coach for Texas A&M, does such a great job with his prep and his studying of each hitter. 2 outs and nobody on. All soft so far. It'll be interesting to see if this matchup happens later with runners in scoring position, if he totally flips this sequence. But early, definitely trying to set Amick up with soft stuff.
Prager's 17th pitch is away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, and Wiener there, they will bounce ideas off of the offensive coaches, the players. You know, what would you be thinking in this situation so you can think along with the opposing hitter? That's Max right there. He left the Mariner organization to come here to be the head pitching coach for A&M. Just missed down. Right side of the infield, Caden Kent, Ted Burton, they were heading to the dugout. Thought that was strike 3. know what was coming. Change-up fastball, slider instead. And he swung when the ball was virtually in the glove. What a start for Prager. 2 punch-outs in the first. 2-0 A&M after 1. Television schedule and any other Men's College World Series intel you want, NCAA.com is your home for all 90 NCAA championships. It's been a bit since either of these teams have won a championship. Schlossnagle, 16 total wins at the Men's College World Series. 3rd most among active coaches. Corbin and Kevin O'Sullivan have more. Causey ready to start this inning off, and he throws slider at the knees, ball 1. This is Caden Kent. He is the son of Jeff Kent. He's here with his wife and Caden's mom, and as he takes another one. And this guy has been red hot. 455 at the World Series. Got an opportunity to play when Montgomery went down.
Turns out the clutch gene is
there. Yeah.
Is there in this one. Very few guys that could hit with runners in scoring position in his generation, as well as that man right there. And his son has certainly proved up to the task this postseason.
Dad Jeff doesn't show a lot of emotion regardless of what's going on the field. And that's another one that's in there for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You'll see him that way if Caden hits a single or a double. Mom will cheer like crazy. He said, I asked him, I've seen that my entire life. Not a surprise. He'll occasionally give him some encouragement when maybe he's in the batter's box. On a 2-2, wow. Big time swing and miss. How about that effort by Causey? Let's go back to the unique relationship that the TCU baseball team, and in particular the head man, Jim Schlossnagle, has with that guy to his immediate right, Tony Vitello. He hired him to be an assistant coach and really the recruiting coordinator. And ultimately, Tony was responsible for much of the foundation of the teams that kept coming to the World Series. 14, 15, 16, before he was off to Arkansas. Tony Vitello. And now here they both are in opposite dugouts at the World Series. Causey pours in another strike. This is Travis Chestnut.
The TCU program went 4 years in a row, 5 times overall under Schloss. Of course, Kirk Sarlos brought him back last year, but that was quite a run TCU had in the middle part of last decade.
Well, 2 of those times it was going through Texas A&M.
Right. Yeah, the value of recruiting in college sports, regardless of the sport, is the biggest difference maker. Both these guys are phenomenal at it, and the support that they get from their supporters, boosters, is incredible. And they grind, man. They're on the portal. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, where you are, portal, and let's get set for next season while you're still in this one. 1-1 gets the call on the outside corner. Mike Morris is calling balls and strikes tonight.
Yeah, those teams that aren't here, they're not going to wait for you to finish when they hit the portal. There's a whole lot more to do here than just what's on the field.
All you got to do is follow on social media. Florida, Kentucky. So we take a look at UpCam from Mike Morris. Swing and a miss. Causey, since coming in, has struck out 4.
That's 3 in a row, 4 of the last 5 for Causey, who at least early looks like he has all 3 going. The 2-seamers got really good run and sink. The changeup at one point had 22 inches of horizontal movement. That's more than the width of the plate that it's moving going towards home plate. And that time buried the slider for a second straight strikeout this inning.
Here is the home run hitter, Grahovac. So between the SEC tournament and here in Omaha, he's played 2 games, and he's got 3 homers against Tennessee. That's inside for ball 1. Fouled off his foot. It's a foul ball. So I'm sure there are a lot of people watching who wonder, so why, Kyle, did they get into Stamos start? Causey comes in. He looks great because he's got 4 strikeouts and 5 guys. How does that happen, and why do you stick with it?
Well, it happened because A.J. Causey wasn't great when he was starting. And so it was Frank Anderson and Tony Vitello saying, okay, we know that Causey needs to be in the game. Does it make sense to have somebody go in there first? And Stamos was the guy that made the most sense.
Just try it.
The longest Stamos has gone this year is 3 1/3. But try it, yes, and then it worked, and then it worked again, and then it worked again, and Causey looked better in that role. Honestly, looked kind of like he does today.
Yeah.
Well, it worked from the standpoint they won the games.
Right.
And they also, I mean, A.J. Russell, don't forget this team's most talented arm, and the guy who threw the first game of the year has essentially missed the whole season. So, they had a huge void to fill, and they knew Stamos and Causey had to do it in some capacity. And so when Causey started struggling as a starter, they just kind of, let's go with an opener and see if he's better out of the pen, and they just wrote it out. Definitely non-traditional, though, for a team of this caliber in Game 1.
2-1 to Grahovac. That's outside. 3 balls and a strike. Say this, too. Grahovac looks very comfortable as a freshman at the plate in a College World Series game. Sees the pitch really well. Laviolette on deck. They were 2 down, and it's 2-0 A&M after they got 2 in the first. And end of the bat. That's a fair ball. That should be an easy one for Causey, and it is. A much better inning for the Tennessee pitcher. They go 1, 2, and 3.
But it is an interesting and fun scene just before first pitch.
Yeah, especially when you get a guy like that, he's going to be pretty comfortable anyway, so let's do that. Yeah. We can contribute to Prager's success.
I'm going to do that to you tomorrow when you're filling your scorebook out.
I love that.
Berkey, we're going to just nonstop encouragement for you.
Would you help that? Hey, go Berkey, here we go.
You got a playlist or something you want to give us? We can boom it for you?
I'd like that.
Okay.
Brown and Zach Brown, Chesney, Zach Bryant, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Took you as more of a Snoop guy.
Neil Diamond, Hall & Oates, John Denver, they work. Prager was phenomenal in the first. He struck out Burke and Amick. It's Dreiling, Ensley, and Kavaris Tears on a 1-1. You have to be a drone. This is not a bad place to be a drone. Or people on that boat.
It's a good river day today.
Dreiling, a 361 hitter against lefties on a 2-1. Does get the call. Strike, delayed strike call.
That did feel a little tardy there. It's a 50-50 pitch. Mike Morse didn't come out of his crouch very quickly on that one.
2-2. Dreiling beats it into the ground. Slow hopper. Second baseman can't field it. That's Kent. That's an infield hit for Dylan Dreiling in the first of the night for Tennessee.
Don't know that he was going to throw him out anyway. I'm with you, Ravi. That should definitely go as a base hit. Just an emergency hack here on a slider down and away by Dreiling, who can sneaky really run. Kent's got a do-or-die play, just cannot corral the transfer there, and Tennessee's got a leadoff base runner.
Not easy to run against the lefty Prager. He has got 4 steals this year, and here's Ensley, generally the center fielder. Now we got a beach ball in left center field, so that's going to be a pause. Ensley made one of the great against-the-wall catches. Like Tennessee seemed to have a handful of them, and they did. Ensley had one of them, and he kind of jammed up his hamstring. So the thought from Vitello earlier today was, do we use him as a DH? And this is the catch. And hopefully have him for games 2 and 3 if necessary. You'd think the pain would come from the absorption of the wall, but it actually was a hamstring he hurt on the run to get it.
Yeah, because he had to get full throttle to catch that baseball.
Do we clean the eye black off finally? Is it still out there?
Another shot. And after he came to his senses, nope, still there. That's called leaving your mark. Hunter Ensley has done that. Let's just call that the Hunter Ensley mark from here on out. That catch was worthy of it.
182 at the College World Series on the 0-1. That ball is cold and foul.
Ensley didn't know that he made a mark there on the wall, but they were watching video back, and he was like, that's pretty cool. So when they came here yesterday for BP, he went out there, gave a little picture, a little memento of it, and said, I hope they keep it there.
Yeah, I thought we were going to, tape the whole body eventually up there. Or Tears. Like, we could have had a whole bunch of bodies against the wall of Tennessee players. Drew Beam's idea was to do it. Prager ahead 0-2. Dreiling off first. And he will look over to first, and he had him leaning a little bit.
Interesting. Dreiling did not see that move. quickly, and it makes you wonder whether he was thinking about it right there. 0-2 is usually not a great run count, especially against a guy who likes elevated fastball, but
Prager to the plate, and that one is fouled off. Now, Ryan Prager's dad, Howard, he played at UT Arlington for 3 years. He also was with the Louisville Redbirds, originally drafted by the Astros.
The Louisville Redbirds. Okay, maybe I caught a couple of his games growing up. The old fairgrounds.
I played there. It's like playing in the parking lot.
Yes, a green parking lot.
Yes.
Plenty of time on the pitch clock for Prager, who now comes to the plate, and this one is headed towards the dugout, and it will get into the screen and then the seats. You talked about the two Ivy Leaguers that A&M has. Prager is the high school valedictorian at Hillcrest High School. He had TJ surgery, Tommy John, after his freshman season.
Him too, huh?
He's another one.
Yeah.
With a dad, Astros organization, you know, he's got a lot of buddies. He went to the LCS between the Astros and Rangers for Game 7. And Ansley into left field. That's going to get down. Dreiling will touch second. He'll head to third base. And the Volunteers are in business with nobody out, 2 men on a Hunter Ansley single to left.
Well, he had elevated the fastball, the pitch before. Inslee did a nice job of just catching a piece and keeping the AB alive. Then he gets a hanging changeup and extends the barrel just long enough to barrel this thing up into left center field. Does a nice job on a changeup that catches way too much of the plate, driving that ball into left center field. Dreiling puts the gas pedal down and goes first to third. And here come the Vols.
I think one thing to watch, too, with Prager, that changeup's great when it's down. The swing and miss percentage against righties this year is about 45%. They swing through it a bunch. Elevated. Tennessee's taken 2 pretty good moves out.
And Kavaris Tears, the right fielder, has been terrific here in Omaha. Hitting over 300. He's got a double, a triple, and a couple of homers. Swings at the first one, and this one may be playable in foul territory. Grahovac says it is, and there's one down. That's a big break. And a big boost for Prager to get Tears on one pitch.
Another one of those fastballs down that Tennessee's hunting, and Tears just wasn't quite ready for it. Tardy on that swing, gets jammed, hits a pop up to third, and wow, you talk about a big out. Not just the first one, but especially with a hitter as hot as Tears.
Here comes one of the California kids, Dean Curley, out of Laverne, California at 6'3", 212. He's a freshman. So A&M got their 2 runs from freshman bats. Can Curley do the same for the Vols? Big kid at shortstop at 6'3". Gets the call at the knees. Strike 1 from Prager.
I think they'll try to crowd him too, fastball-wise. That front foot just a little bit closed for Curley, and it's right on top of the plate. Prager's ability to really pinpoint fastballs. Could see him try to crowd him with that pitch during this at-bat.
Prager would love a double play. Ball up the middle. Instead, an RBI. Curley delivers, and it's first and second. The Vols on the board as the freshman comes through.
Berkey, that changeup is a very different pitch to hit when it is up. And the last few that he has thrown have been up. Ensley singled on the pitch, and the freshman Curley does the exact same thing here. Yeah,
it's almost a photocopy from the one with Ensley. That fastball just begging to be hit in the left center field gap. Middle. Curley just a click out in front, rifles that ball in the left center, and here comes the Vols with a couple really loud swings of the bat here by their right-handed hitters.
That clutch Gene and Curley too. He was a .323 hitter with runners in scoring position. The Vols are on the board. There's one down. Here's Reese Chapman. He's the right fielder. Fastball for a strike. Chapman's a sophomore at 6'1", 212. 276 on the season, 7 homers, 5 doubles. Remember, Ensley out there has got a bit of a hamstring issue, and this one has popped up to left and should be playable. The sun behind a big cloud, so Sorrell has an easy time following that one. 2 down, and the 9-hole hitter is Cal Stark, and this would be a good time for the Volunteers number 9 hitter to get his first hit in Omaha.
Yeah, of all the guys in the lineup, Cal Stark is the one most susceptible to that ball above the belt, but he's also very dangerous, the one at the bottom. And so we talked about this kind of a theme with the whole lineup, but Stark probably as much as any. Prager better get it up.
One ball, no strikes to the Knoxville, Tennessee native, a senior, 6'1", 200. Outfield playing fairly deep, especially in center field. Chestnut is way out there. 2-0, and the very dangerous Christian Moore is next up for Tennessee. Stark is a .290 hitter with runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-0. He squares and pulls back, and that's a strike.
Just taking one?
Yeah, just straight taking. 2-0 count with Simo on deck. I guess, you wonder if that came from Stark himself. Obviously not seeing it great, but that was a dead red count.
2-1, that's a line right to the first baseman, Tim Burton. Stark retired. They will leave 2 on. They do get moving things. They, like Tennessee, are going to have huge, big dollar renovations to their home ballparks.
Yeah, both these schools have dedicated a lot of money to the improvement of their facilities, and both these head coaches have these two programs rolling.
Here's the dangerous Laviolette, and the first pitch from Causey is a strike. One on the way. Foul speed pitch, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Causey's a real interesting story. He went to the Viper Baseball Academy in Huntsville, Alabama. They kind of had an idea about how to fix him. He was a traditional over-the-top guy. He said, let's scrap being like everybody else. He is a wiffle ball player. Like literally a wiffle ball player.
Here's the difference today, okay? So the two-seam fastball at one point today had 22 inches of horizontal movement to the arm side. He threw a slider that had 15 inches of movement the other way. The plate is 17 inches wide. The gap between where his baseball moves arm side and glove side is over 2.5 feet. That's not easy.
No, that's hard to handle.
Yes.
Here's the 1-2 from him, and that one is again fouled. So he basically described this concept when he was he's 13. He said it was like a cheat code. I tried it. I fell in love with it. It almost made pitching like a game to me, like wiffle ball. And he experimented during the offseason against his 12 or 13 U travel season. He shows up early for training to master that sidearm sinker. He spent a year working on it, debuted it in his 14 U season, and his confidence went through the roof. So it's like a sweeping sidearm curveball.
Well, it's a very unique look. You see so many overhand right-handers with high carry fastballs in today's game. So when you see that low three-quarter arm angle, you see the ball moving more horizontally and less vertically. It's hard for a lineup to respond to that.
It's inside.
And that's the game changer for him. When he can front hip a two-seamer to left-handers and then throw that changeup away off of it, even if he doesn't get that call, oftentimes he has the hitter set up to go change up away. But that one right there is hard to pull the trigger on.
Close pitch. Causey wanted that. Didn't get it. And it's even for Laviolette. The wind blowing again. Very gently out to right. On a 2-2, he will not chase.
It's also one of the reasons he stands on the first base side of the rubber. It makes it easier to go to that front door two-seamer, it's a lot easier to get through it. But when you're going away, man, that ball is flying away from a left-handed hitter.
3-2 on the way and 3 on the right side of the infield for Tennessee, and he fouls the changeup off.
It's interesting. I just noticed Tennessee's not doing pitch comm right now. They're doing
no, they're
signs.
actually giving signs. Yeah, he shook just a minute ago.
Yeah, like this is we got a little blast from the past going on. I don't know if that's a Causey wasn't digging it or what's going on, but Cal Stark's getting the sign and flashing it into his pitcher. This is old school baseball right now.
Wanted to come inside with that fastball, and he missed down and in. First walk that A.J. Causey has allowed. Laviolette will go to first, and the leadoff man aboard in the third.
He's trying to go back to that front hip two-seamer, and you can see it fighting to get back, but that one did just miss. Just missed down, and Laviolette will be on there, which in normal situations, Laviolette is a threat to run. He is not right now. And that Tennessee bench is not too excited about the home plate umpire right now.
Here's Appel. He doubled his first time up, came in on the RBI, and that's another one that missed in. Wasn't the fastball, though, the changeup. Good one. Evens it up, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Cal Stark just did a pretty cool thing there to his pitcher. You see him take that deep breath. Stark, the veteran catcher, really in the trenches right now with his right-hander, trying to slow him down, making sure this inning doesn't get away from him.
Off again to the pitcher this time, and that's going to result in a hit. Wow. Couple of breaks for A&M early. One off the mound. Another one sent sky high. And Appel reaches for the second time.
Did his foot or did it hit the rubber?
I thought it hit his foot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they turn 2 here because Curley was pretty deep. But they're absolutely going to get 1 because Curley was pinched up the middle. But the minute it goes flying up into the air, no chance for anybody. Leadoff walk. And the single by Appel to follow it. Frank Anderson, the pitching coach, will make his way out for the first time. And I can promise you, he will wait for Mike Morris to come out and say hello.
Yeah, there's Mike Morris there. Yeah, he's throwing some stones off the mound. He's running warm right now. We'll keep an eye on it when Morris goes out there because he will wait. But one of the things that Vitello and Anderson did, they brought in some major league pitchers as he heads out there, including Spencer Strider to talk to the team. And Stark asked Strider a question. Let's see how this exchange goes. He is talking to the home plate umpire. You're just not seeing the home plate umpire in the shot. But that entire 15, 20-foot walk was a conversation, kind of a one-way conversation, but it was a conversation.
Well, and really, you watching that replay, not an easy chance, Kyle, but Causey had a chance to make that play. And it's a 1-6-3. You brought up they could have made the play up the middle. Pitcher could have made that play as well.
Change up to shot, strike 1. So Stark asked Strider a question like, when did you see your game elevate? What did you do? And Strider said it all changed when he got the mental side of baseball. And all of these pitchers, including, and maybe most important, Causey, bought into the value of the mental side. 0-2. And you can speak to that. It like unlocks another aspect that when you're just throwing and you're throwing well, you don't really think much about.
No, it's the best time. When it's just kind of happening and you get into a rhythm and get a momentum out there. I do think, too, with Causey, he really understands his stuff and has a ton of trust in it. And rightfully so, man. He cannot throw a baseball straight if he wants to, and that's a good problem to have on the mound.
Well, what will Schott do with 2 strikes? He sends one up the middle. That's good for a hit. Laviolette will round. He will come in. To third goes Appel. Hey, they take advantage of the break off of the pitcher. Schott delivers his second hit. And the Aggies have a 3-1 lead.
Well, Tennessee keeps getting burned with 2-strike mistakes. We saw Grahovac launch one earlier. This is an 0-2 changeup that's just middle. and doesn't have the late depth that you normally associate with that A.J. Causey changeup. And tell you what, Hayden Schott just too veteran of a hitter to get him to roll over that one. Stays through it, rifles it right back up the box. The Aggies add another.
Columbia transfer has been big for the Aggies here early. They lead at 3-1. There's nobody out. Still men on the corners. And a bunt down the first baseline. They'll have a play at the plate. Here's the throw. The tag is applied. And what a read by Blake Burke. He came charging on the Burton bunt, and they cut down Appel.
It was almost like he bunted it too hard, Kyle.
He did bunt it too hard, and to the wrong guy.
Yeah. Blake Burke does a really nice job of charging aggressively and can really throw on the run. And Appel got a pretty good jump, but Burke came down his throat hard. The bunt just a little too hard, and Stark with a nice job of securing that baseball as they just barely get Appel at the plate.
Yeah, they do barely get him, and they're going to
watch the left hand.
Yeah, the tag's there, right there.
I think this one's upheld, but it was a lot closer than I thought it was in real time. That left hand just about got in there.
First glance, I wasn't sure Appel got a great jump, but you look back at it, he was right on time. I just think you got to credit Burke for getting downhill.
The crowd get a chance to see there's a large screen in right field. The Tennessee faithful are watching it right now. And Rocky Top is convinced he was out.
My, did you see that ball in his glove? That was a good job to go grab it with his bare hand to make sure, because that ball was moving around in his glove before Cal Stark went to make the tag.
Yeah, normally there you'd see a catcher kind of swipe, but he does a good job. He didn't catch it clean, and he knows he's going to take a blow.
After further review, the ruling on the field of out is confirmed. Texas A&M has charged one challenge and has one remaining for the game.
So Schott delivers the RBI. He ruled that first time he reached an error. Although it was going to be really close whether he was going to be out or not. He's reached twice. The RBI there. And now another guy with an RBI, the freshman Sorrell. So Burton is at first. Schott down there at second. 3-1 A&M here in the third. Pass ball for a strike. You love all your players, but I tell you one thing, A&M really thinks Sorrell is going to become a terrific player as he swings and misses at that.
Yeah, he kind of feels like he's next, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The body still has such another big jump or two in it as well. He's already proven he's got plenty of juice in that bat, but I would not be shocked to see this one hit 20+ next year.
He's got 11, and here's another 0-2, and that's over the center of the plate. Another 0-2 miss coming up with it. Chapman, who'll go to second. The run shot will score. It is 4-1 A&M.
I think most of the Tennessee players, aside from Reese Chapman, are a little bit confused as to why this throw went to second base. Hayden Schott is not running well right now. And I was a little bit surprised that Nolan Cain sent it, but Berkey, they got a real chance if he throws home right there.
That's just your right fielder forgetting who's on the bases there, Kyle. I think normally a ball that bounces 3 or 4 times before it gets to you, you're thinking just throw the ball in and keep the runner from going to third base. But he totally lost track of the fact that Hayden Schott was on second base, and I'm with you, Kyle. That definitely would have been a play at the plate.
Another 2-strike hit, though, for the Aggies, who lead it 4-1.
Causey's guilty of right now. He's just throwing too many strikes.
Yeah, you saw where Stark set up on that pitch, way outside him. Nothing sailed right over the center. Sorrell has had a great night already. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of RBIs. He's got a stolen base. He's at first. Burton's at second on the 1-0, and that's in there.
Tell you, this Aggie offense has been awfully impressive, though, throughout the College World Series, of being able to manufacture offense without the need of the home run. Because for the most part, it was a very home run heavy team throughout the course of the season. But they have done a nice job with runners in scoring position, especially in this ball game.
1-1 of the shortstop, Camarillo.
3 games prior to this, I mean, they had just 1 home run, and it was Sorrell. It was a freshman that had it. And then Grahovac, the freshman leadoff hitter, started things with a bang today.
It's been about a month since the Aggies have lost. And a chopper to third. That's going to be a tough play. Fielded on a short hop. He threw it away. Amick short hopped it. They're going to get 1 run on the error. Billy Amick made a great play to scoop it. He had time and he threw it away. And the error allows Camarillo to go to second. It brings Burton in.
Yeah, he did a nice job charging this baseball. Camarillo gets jammed, but he catches it awkwardly. See how much in the palm that is. I don't think he ever got the grip. You see just how awkward that catch was. So when he goes in to get it, no, it doesn't look that bad as he lets it go. But he throws that one a good 10, 12 feet short. It hits the lip of the grass, and Blake Burke just had no chance.
2 errors tonight for Tennessee. The bounces have gone the Aggies' way, and here's Kent, who's been terrific. The ball just missed. It's 1-0. Shell-shocked. Vitello.
Well, it doesn't feel too dissimilar to game 1 against Florida State. I mean, it has a very similar theme. They're not sharp on defense. Causey's making some mistakes late in the count, and you got an offense against them that is really talented and cashing in.
2-0 to Kent. And that one off the end of the bat, but into center field. Sorrell scores. Camarillo scores. Caden Kent has arrived, and it's all A&M. They lead it 7-1.
If you just watch A&M for the first half of the season, you're saying, who's that? we didn't see that guy. When Braden Montgomery went down, Caden Kent got his chance. All he did is hit a grand slam in the Super Regionals. Has continued that hot hitting over here to the College World Series. That time got an elevated changeup, didn't get all of it, but got enough of it to drive 2 more, and it is now a 5-run third for the Aggies.
Caden Kent has 26 ribbies on the season, 12 of them in the postseason.
He's been incredible. They will try to run 2 if they get another opportunity with Kent. Travis Chestnut's the 9-hole hitter. No, just think, they had not bunted with first and third no outs this season. The out came on the bunt.
Yeah.
They have 4 sack bunts the whole year.
Yeah. Well, there's another one.
Check that.
Chestnut moves Kent to second base. A 5-run third inning. Schlossnagle has got to feel pretty good about the situation given Prager is on the mound. And here comes Grahovac, who's already left the yard once. 9th man to come to the plate with 2 down. Shot right to the second baseman, and that's where Moore was standing. He's out. Grahovac is gone. But the A&M Aggies got their fans off their seats, and they are standing. Wild inning for A&M, and it's the top of the Tennessee order as they begin to try to chip away against the very effective Ryan Prager. Big swing there from Moore. Christian Moore, Brooklyn, New York. He went to a couple of different high schools, one in Tennessee, ended up at Suffield Academy in Connecticut, and they were on him early because his older brother was so good. Said he loved that experience. 0-2 as Prager pitching beautifully.
Where's that?
Just the second guy in the history of this tournament to hit for the cycle. Second person to do anything in the history of this tournament. That's
pretty good.
That's pretty special.
And you get your name next to Jerry Kendall in the record book.
His mom and dad said they have been massive supporters Again, an older brother, terrific athlete, and here he is on a big stage. Behind 0-2. Prager hasn't made those mistakes with 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and more is gone. 3rd strikeout for Ryan Prager.
So far today, Prager has looked a lot more comfortable out of the windup than out of the stretch. Tennessee got him in the stretch in the 2nd inning after the leadoff single by Dreiling, and that's where started doing some damage. Changeup was coming up in the zone. 0-2 count right there. Just trying to run that fastball up and away. Got enough off the plate to get Christian Moore swinging.
And now big Blake Burke at 6'3", 236. He got the head out way in front of that, and he pulls it foul. He's reached safely in 18 straight games, 17 hits in the NCAA tournament, the most of any player coming into this one. And his home run last Wednesday was the 20th of the season. That gave Tennessee that number of being the first Division I team in history to have 5 20-homer players in a single season.
That number just never quite computes.
It doesn't, because prior to this, they had 6 20-homer seasons.
Ever. And you had one of them, Berkey. That's hit hard, and that's going to be a single for Blake Burke. 111 miles an hour off the bat. It sounded a little different.
Yeah, it usually sounds a little different off Blake Burke's bat, 111 miles an hour.
So as we said at the top, 5 players, Tennessee, 20 homers. There are no teams with 4. There's one, A&M, that has 3 guys with 20. There are 253 Division I programs who don't have a 20 home run guy. Like, that feels a little like overkill. We have 5 of them, and 250 teams don't have any.
Selfish.
Here's Amick, who'd love to make up for that error. He swings at that high fastball, and that's where Tennessee's vulnerable. 0-1.
You see Billy Amick take a fastball, he's guessing. This is a guy that does not take too many fastballs. Prager has him on his heels.
Yep, 0-2.
He struck him out last time, and it was a really defensive late swing. This at bat hasn't looked all that comfortable there either. Prager intentionally trying to run that fastball up and out of the zone to see if he could get chase there.
Got him with a backdoor slider the first time up. He's ready on a 1-2. Burke's off first. There's one down. There it is again, and he's gone for the second time.
That's what happens when that changeup is down. When it is down, Prager is going to get a ton of swing and miss, and it's exactly where we went right here. 79 miles an hour. See that extension? He gets all the way out in front of it, hand over the top of that baseball, so it really allows it to fall away from the right-handed hitter. 2 strikeouts in the first, now 2 in the third for Ryan Prager.
I like the way he pairs that 4-seam fastball with the 4-seam changeup too. It's not the traditional 2-seam look on that changeup. Amick just never differentiated the velocity in that pitch.
0-1 to Dylan Dreiling. He singled and scored. The Vols' only run of the game. Came in on a Dean Curley RBI. Prager, this will be pitch number 50. And that is up the middle. No play for Kent. Burke will think about it, and then he will wisely put the brakes on and dive back in. Single for Dreiling, first and second. Dylan Dreiling's got a couple of hits tonight.
Yeah, I know there's 2 outs, and you're down 6 runs. I thought Burke probably could have made that one pretty easily. It's pretty hard for the defense to stop you from going first to third on anything to center or right center field. But it looked like Tennessee just plays it safe right there and sets up a first and second situation for Inslee, who had a rocket into left center his first AB.
Best 2 out of 3, game 1 of this Men's College World Series. And Ensley swings, and that is a filthy slider down and in. As Ensley said, and everybody that's a junior upperclassman, we're fighting for one more day together. Every day. Max we have right now is 3 in the same uniform. After that, we all go our separate ways. You got to cherish these 3 days. Gets the call away. How about those 2 pitches?
That last one's about as good as you can do it. Backdoor breaking ball right at the knees on the outside black after wrapping one around Ensley's feet to start.
Prager didn't give up a hit in his first outing. He's given up 5 here, and a big pitch coming on 0-2. Lifted into left field. That's going to get down. Burke to third. He's coming. Here's the throw, and he beats it. Hunter Ensley is 2 for 2 as he drives in a run, and Tennessee chips away a little bit, 7-2.
Hunter Ensley not in his typical center field position, but in the DH spot. He has delivered now twice. Change up there, KP? Or fastball? Yeah,
fastball just caught way too much of the plate.
Right down Broadway. Ensley almost a repeat of the first line drive he hit. And the middle part of this order here with Dreiling and Ensley continuing to stay hot.
He's trying to extend this stay and turn tonight around. Now a 5-run deficit. This guy can leave the building in a heartbeat. This is Kavares Tears. Looks like some guys are getting up in that A&M bullpen. There's Josh Stewart. He's been outstanding here down the stretch. A lot of first pitch swinging and missing from Tennessee against Prager. Tears swung at the first one his last time up with a couple on and flew out to the third baseman in foul territory. Now Prager jumps ahead again, 0-2. Another guy that met the wall with an unbelievable catch, Kavares Tears here in Omaha. Out of play.
Well, they got Tears his first time up, but in the NCAA tournament, his OPS is 1,700 with runners in scoring position. So
is that good?
I feel like that's okay. That's a good number for a hitter to have.
That's okay.
It's a guy that has cashed in. And early in the year, they went with Tears in the 5-hole. Lately, they've been going with Ensley in the 5-hole and Tears after him. And you talk about a scary dude to face this part of the order.
The redshirt sophomore, that one is high and tight. Out of Lewisburg, Tennessee. Dreiling at second, Ensley at first. Prager goes 1-2. Swing and a miss. Prager strikes out 3 in the inning. He's got 5 in the game.
Back to the changeup, and when it's been down, it's been outstanding for Prager today. But the Vols had 1, 3 hits in the inning, put another one on the board, but Ryan Prager struck out 5 in 3 innings. The Aggies lead it by 5.
13th College World Series downtown here, and we will have our 12th different winner. Vandy won it, you saw 19. They also won it in 14. And the first pitch is a ball that's down.
Shows you how many teams are invested in baseball. How many different competitive programs there are across the country.
Sport is growing in popularity. There is no doubt about it.
Let's look at these stands.
Yeah.
1-0 to LaViolette. Gets the call on the corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, the investment that colleges are making in baseball is nice to see. May at some point see what scholarships for everybody on the team.
Yeah, feels like that's around the corner. There are 2 programs here that are putting 9 figures in their facilities.
And make no mistake, the SEC has been the dominant conference in college baseball. Although, ironically, like the first SEC title was Georgia in 09. I mean, 1990. I'm sorry, 1990. They have since taken off. 1-1. That's a good pitch. 1-2.
Yeah, that feels very recent. but you'd think baseball in the South would have been more competitive before that. But boy, Georgia, the first team to do it. Before that, it was so West Coast heavy.
1-2, Laviolette will not take. So for the 15th time in the last 16 years, at least one SEC team is in the finals. And maybe it's just us. Maybe we don't like to acknowledge it. No, it's not like 1990 was last year. I mean, it is 2024.
Freshman in high school. That was a while ago.
Maybe that was a while ago.
Yeah. Sorry to date everybody, but 1990 wasn't 2 years ago. Sometimes it feels that way, and more often than not, we act that way. But that was a while ago.
But to think that it took the league that long, based on the way we view the league now, it is interesting.
2-2, Laviolette. He waits. That's down 3-2.
Well, and I mean, you talk about West Coast dominance before that. Now we're seeing West Coast kids on almost every SEC roster. I mean, we've got some in the middle on both sides today that are hitting right in the middle of the lineup. That didn't used to happen very often.
Laviolette trying to get on as the leadoff man. He fouls that off. So a hamstring issue. People at home, he's a power hitter. He's got really good speed for a guy his size. What impact does the hamstring have on a left-handed hitter?
Well, you definitely are feeling it in your legs. Now, it sounded like he got through the first game with it without any problems offensively. It was defense where it kind of gave him some pause.
3-2, he swung at it. That's a good one there from Causey.
But no hitter likes to feel vulnerable in their lower half. I think from Laviolette, though, all signs are that he's feeling pretty comfortable with the bat in his hands. This will not make you feel comfortable. There's that front door two-seamer that he did not get the call on last time. This time Laviolette goes fishing. And that is a big first out after a rough third inning for Causey.
Causey came in, remember, struck out 4 of the first 5 he faced. And then he faced 9 guys, didn't strike out anybody. He picked up his 5th here. Needs that call, and he gets it. They haven't been able to get a Pell out, a double, and a single tonight.
Big part of that rally last inning when the ball off Causey went for a base hit. Totally changed that inning.
Out of play.
I think Tennessee's got Kirby Connell down there kind of just standing in the bullpen, but it's a 3-game series. You have to manage the innings, you have to manage the outs. Of course, Kirby's kind of been everyday Kirby down there for them throughout the course of his career. By the same token, I think they would love for Causey to give them some length here in the middle of this game.
1-2, this ball pulled down the line. Given a look is Chapman. Yeah, you're managing a 3-game series. It felt a lot like it if you talk to people. A&M really, I wouldn't say need it because you never know, but they would benefit big time by winning this game. It gives them another day maybe to rest Lampkin and go bullpen game in game 2 if they won game 1.
Well, and listen, A&M's pitching numbers have been outstanding here in Omaha, but they use 5 guys. The depth component is the one that you're not sure if you get past those 5 guys. And so it did feel like if A&M's going to – the best chance for them to win this series is you kind of got to win when Prager's on the mound. Probably won't see Lampkin tomorrow.
2-2 to a Pell way outside, yeah.
Yeah, if you win the first one, then you have the luxury to being able to rest Lampkin to try to get the best effort and give him the most rest possible from him, because again, with Shane Sadeo going down in the postseason, they're short a starter.
3-2. Oh, snared by Causey. Didn't bounce off the mound, didn't go off his foot. He picked it clean.
He heard you. He heard you on the last one. Maybe Causey can make this play, and this time lands in a good fielding position, gloves in a good spot. That's not an easy one, too. So got back to him pretty quick.
Almost harder. Like that ball is way outside of the frame of his body. The other one was right off his shin, and boy, that inning would have looked much differently if he was able to glove that one the way he did the most recent one.
Their shot reached on an error, then singled. And there's that pitch. He's got that one working now. That two-seamer into lefties to get ahead 0-1. We'll talk with Jim Schlossnagel. Chris Budden will next half inning. He arrived onto campus in 2022. Twice already to the Final Four, 5 times to the College World Series. As he said, I got a little tired of leaving before the championship series. I didn't really like it. He's enjoying it now a lot more on a 1-1. And that one is laced to right center. Chapman goes back. It bounces off the wall. Hayden Schott heads to second base. Have a night, Hayden Schott. He's reached all 3 times.
Looked like a changeup that just hangs again. Yeah, Causey, a soft changeup up and out over the plate, and Hayden Schott just shoots this ball into right center field. A barreled up missile at 107 that goes sailing into the gap. And as you said, Ravi, he is having himself a ball game.
Reached on a questionable error, then he singled and scored. Now a double. The transfer portal is paying dividends in Game 1 of this World Series for A&M. Ted Burton trying to give them their 8th run. Slider outside, ball 1.
To that point, you go Appel, Schott, Ted Burton right in the middle of this lineup. And while they don't have a ton of at-bats within the SEC, they've got a ton of collegiate at-bats between the 3 of them. 4 years in the Ivies for the first 2, 3 years at Michigan for Burton.
Portal has become Charlie Finley's dream come true. Like, he was the owner of the A's. Every year, I think we should just have free agency, 1-year contracts. This ball is smoked to left center field. This one is deep. Tears. Oh! Did he make the play? He did it again. Wow. Kavares Tears covering ground, sliding on the track. Takes away an extra base hit and a sure RBI from Burton.
Wow, Kavares Tears did it to the opposite field gap last game. This time he's going to show it to you to his glove side. Lay out, young man. Take extra bases and another run away from the Aggies. Kavares Tears putting all his skills on display.
4 days rest for Prager. We'll circle that catch by Tears and see where we go from it in the bottom of the 4th. Dean Curley leads things off, and Prager pours in strike 1.
Your typical rest in collegiate baseball is 6 days.
Right.
Obviously, Major League rest is 4 days, which is what Prager has today. It is different. You're not used to doing it. Not surprising that he doesn't have his sharpest stuff tonight.
But he's getting that call, and it is 0-2. Curley asks, is that as far out as we can go? And go back to that Tears play. He has saved 5.6 runs defensively in the outfield, which is roughly worth half a win. 0-2. High.
Left a pretty good skid mark out there in left center field.
Yeah,
too.
he did.
Jersey to prove it.
1-2, beaten into the ground. High chopper and no play for Burton. And the leadoff man is aboard. As we go back to the incredible catch by Kavares Tears.
To your point, watch how far he slides. I mean, this is pretty cool now.
It makes the play kind of just before full extension, right? He's just before full extension, and he just has a little fun at the end. Hunter Enzi's left his mark with the eye black, and now Kavares Tears with the, I don't know, 10 feet of a skid mark out there.
And it was the next night that Tears made a similar play to what Ensley did, except it was in right center field. He banged into the Creighton logo.
A lot easier to slide like that than whack into that wall out there. Defense in the outfield has been tremendous for Tennessee all series long, all season long. And remember, Ensley's not playing. Tears is in center tonight. They go in a shift with 0-1. They move Grahovac up the middle. So that side is wide open. That's where he put it. Can Prager make the play? Yeah, that's what he did.
It was interesting right before that. So with the first pitch of the at-bat, the defense was pretty straight up normal. And then with the one strike, Grahovac they went into the shift. Josh Elander's coaching third base and took both of his hands and just kind of laid them out to say, hey, you got an opportunity here if you want to do it. And if Chapman can get it past the pitcher, that's a single the entire way. But Prager falling that side gives him a little bit more time to get there and just enough time to get Chapman at first base.
Really good job by Prager to bounce off that mound. Down to second base goes Curley. Here's Cal Stark. Lined out to first his first time up. Still looking for hit 1 here in Omaha. Yeah, they shifted 0-1, which opened up that left side, and he could not push that closer to the foul line or past Prager. Otherwise, you get 2 men on, nobody out. Stark beats that into the ground. It's 1-1.
Anytime you go to the third base line against a left-hander, you really got to get it over there because obviously that's his glove hand. Now, Prager still has to spin and throw it accurately. But Chapman just wasn't quite able to get the angle there on that bunt.
Gets the call on the corner, and the catcher, Stark, who knows the strike zone probably as well as anybody in this game early because he sits there with the umpire, wasn't too pleased with that one. He's a very good hitter with runners in scoring position with a high slugging percentage. Here's the 2-strike pitch, and he's gone. Six punch-outs for Prager.
That one went back to the slider. So as the changeup to get strike 2 comes back, and he showed the ability to backdoor this pitch and then throw it right here. Try to wrap it right around the back foot. Cal Stark, and he had a few parting words from Mike Morris, the home plate umpire, before he left. It may be talking about that again here in a moment.
Christian Moore, the leadoff hitter, who came in hitting .571 in Omaha, is 0 for 2. He struck out his last time up. There is electricity in the bat when he makes contact. Moore talked about his approach and thinking about the at-bats to Paul Skeens during last year and replaying them in his head. He looks at every plate appearance as a competition between he and the pitcher.
You look at the balls that have been barreled up the hardest here in Omaha, and Christian Moore is basically at the top of the list on all but a couple of them. He's hit 5 balls at 114 or harder. This is a man that can compress the baseball, and he has put that on display. But Prager has just had him off balance. Like Christian Moore hasn't looked comfortable on one swing yet tonight.
Prager 0-2 with 6 strikeouts and 2 down here in the 4th. You were around Christian Moore, and there is a confidence about him, a comfort about him. Not too much spent time on other things, but there you see Kylie McDaniel has him currently projected 12th in this draft. That's outside. He was one of the heroes in that big comeback against Florida State, and his approach at the plate and his comfort level. There was a Justin Upton feel to him. He just stood there, took pitches, waited for his pitch, and then smashed. So he hit for the cycle, only the second cycle we've ever seen at the World Series. Prager 2-2.
That Florida State game just had the feel of just get us back to more, and we've really got a chance. And then it was 4 straight 2-out hits for Tennessee to walk off the Seminoles in the opener.
Schlossnagle and everyone else in baseball knows 3rd time through the order is a big-time challenge for a pitcher. This is the 3rd time he has seen more. 3-2, and he left one right over the heart, and he fouled it off.
And if you're KP, you talk about all the time going off swings. Like, you're just going off the swings. Moore looks a little tardy on the fastball. It just everything looks like it's a click deep for him right now. You just wonder, do they stick with that fastball, or do they go back to the changeup that they got him to pop out on his first at bat? Slider there. Even that seemed abnormally deep there from Simo, really letting the ball travel here.
Stewart continues to throw. More by WAR, 6th most valuable player in the country. Pitch 76 here in the bottom of the 4th from Prager. And a squibber to first. Burton will flip to Prager. He said he got the base. Moore is pointing at the base to suggest he didn't. We've seen more convincing arguments from base runners and the first base umpire. Yeah, Linus was right there.
Yeah, Linus Baker was right on it. It was the second move by Prager, though, with his right foot that leads you to believe he may not have got it the first time.
Ruling on the field is out at first base. Tennessee is challenging that ruling. Play is under further review.
He's there in plenty of time.
Yeah,
there's no issue as far as that. But watch his right foot, all right? So he goes down.
Misses it the first time. He slides in.
Yeah, he bumped it. But watch, when you got to reach back like he does right there, it does send the idea that maybe you're not quite sure if you got it. It looked like the bottom of that right foot slid into the base and got a piece of it early. So I would suspect that the out call stays here.
Well, A&M is convinced because they're looking up at that big screen and they're running off the field. Linus is continuing to kind of call them back, like just wait here.
It wasn't the most graceful footwork, but it did look like the foot got into the side of the base before it came off. He misses it, and then he slides into it right there.
I think you can see the base moves.
Yeah.
After further review, the ruling of out at first base is confirmed. Tennessee is charged with challenge and has 1 remaining in the game.
Moore is 0 for 3, 4 in the books. It's 7-2.
Hunter Ensley bolts back, somehow hung on.
You talk about full throttle, not afraid of a little contact.
Tears goes back into the alley, on the move, and hangs on! Just like Hunter Ensley, Tavares Tears up to the task.
So Tears has to go in center field with Ensley out, and tonight we didn't get into the wall. We avoided it, but we made a similar spectacular catch in center field. They have taken some hits and runs away.
The cool factor on that one late was off the charts.
New pitcher into the game, Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee. The 5'11", 196. I can pitch a lot, and I will get the job done for you. Kirby Connell has been terrific.
Speaking of cool factor, you got the volley fingers mustache. You got personalized Jordans and the pants rolled up. Does that work for you, KP?
And the blue-green glove, whatever that is.
Cool factor in spades.
Oh, yeah, he's got like the old school tight roll on the pants. I didn't see that.
He throws a first pitch strike to Caden Sorrell. He'll get Sorrell, Camarillo, and Kent.
You in on that?
I had that look going about 35 years ago. Yeah, I'm in on that.
Baden into the ground, third base, tough play. Amix settles and he throws him out. You would roll your pants up like that for what reason?
I think it was really cool, and I'm a big fashion guy. You kind of know that, and I was just Well, once again, probably a little bit ahead of my time.
Mom and Dad would appreciate it if like it were big puddles. You would do it as a favor, like we're not going to ruin the pants and we'll roll it. But that was not at all
purely for the look.
Fashion plate.
Yeah, just 100%.
And it worked.
Still do it from time to time. It just feels right that day. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, let's rock that tomorrow.
Full roll up. Well, if Connell pitches the way he has, they'll let him do whatever he wants. He's got that first out, and here's Camarillo. So 7-2, fifth inning game tomorrow. Like, what do you guys think about the usage of Connell? How many innings? Is it relevant how many runs Tennessee maybe scores the next half?
I think so. I think this is like 2 innings at the most to see if the offense can make a run. Can you hold A&M there? Can the offense make it interesting? This is kind of, for Tony Vitello, like, are we going to be in this game or are we not? I think over the next few innings, and he's going to go to his veteran to try to solidify that.
Fastball, slider, change, curveball, and he will get a bunch of chase on his fastball, like the 99th percentile as far as the chase. He's up 1-2 to the junior, Camarillo. Goes with a slider there instead.
Got on that back foot for Camarillo. Are you scissor kicking? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Trying to get out of the way and just give yourself a little bit more clearance?
That ball was coming for his back foot. Yep. So scissor kick by necessity.
And he got on top of that fastball and turned it around, chased it up in the zone. Camarillo has reached for the second time tonight. Well, they honored Ryne Sandberg today at Wrigley Field. The Cubs went out and got a terrific performance from Jameson Taillon, and the Mets were beaten badly. Chicago scored 5 in the first. Sunday night, Wrigley Field. It's the Mets and the Cubs again. Game 3 of the series, 7 Eastern Time, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Former Florida Gator Wyatt Langford, by the way, heating up now for the Rangers. He had a homer the other day and a grand slam today.
Here he comes. Just a matter of time with that one.
I had a feeling that one might work.
The other 2 significant pitching stories relevant to this College World Series. Paul Skeens on the mound tomorrow for the Pirates, and Max Scherzer makes his debut for the Rangers. And Scherzer and Vitello are very close, and Max has spoken to this team several times. And as Tony said to me this morning, the most impressive speaker we've ever had.
I would assume there's a little intensity in that.
You think? That ball's laced to right field, coming in and not going to be able to get there is Chapman. Caden Kent continues to hit. That's his second of the night.
Man, it is cool to see a guy get an opportunity to play and just seize it, especially on a stage like the NCAA tournament and the College World Series. Watch him keep these arms super connected to his body there as he gets that barrel inside that 2-seamer, trying to dive in towards his belt buckle. Caden Kent has filled in admirably. Look at before and after the NCAA tournament, and he's not Braden Montgomery, but it would be hard for Braden Montgomery to do any more damage than Caden Kent has done.
In at the corners for Chestnut, the 9-hole hitter. And he doesn't square against Connell, and that's ball 1. There is Montgomery. There's a high draft pick once we get to Texas for the All-Star game and the draft.
He led the SEC in ribbies, 27 homers. One of the great players in college baseball, but who would have thought Caden Kent would hop right in there and give him that kind of RBI production as well?
Caden Kent would have. Yeah. I mean, even through the struggles and not playing as much as he wanted, Jim Schlossangle just talks about the perseverance and the confidence that still remained. Yeah, as this run has gone, that kid has been in the middle of a lot of it.
And he will tell you, man, I put a lot of work in behind the scenes. Late nights, hours in the weight room, took care of his body, his brain, the rest, make sure his mind was right. He talked about his dad and how competitive the entire family is. Here's the 1-1, 1-2.
He, to this point, doesn't have the power that his old man had back in his prime that he was famous for. Caden Kent, after hitting that grand slam in the Super, was kind of famous for saying that was really the first home run he ever got to enjoy.
Right.
As soon as he hit it, because he just launched one into the night at College Station.
The runner going, and Connell didn't see him. Did he get him in time? There's a good throw, and the tag was put on. Camarillo went, and a good throw, and Amick slapped the tag down on him.
It's a pretty good presence of mind, too, on the mound, because your natural reaction on that is for your legs to buckle or something. So even when he knows you got to step off first, spins and makes the throw to third, but did disengage from the rubber before he did it. You get it?
A perfect throw, and the glove did come down, and there will be no appeal of that.
He checked second and then flipped his hips and ripped it to third, and not just threw it hard, but threw it right on the base. Like that throw had to be on the dirt.
It looked like a first base or a right-hander's pickoff move to first base. He just spun and did it to third.
Yeah, how about it? A line shot there may have produced a run, and that ball gets away from the right fielder, Chapman. They both move up, sliding in safely is Chestnut.
Time's out.
Reese Chapman had an easy play. Looked like he might have picked his head up, and the ball got by him a few feet, and that allowed everybody to move up 90.
Yeah, Chapman, we saw earlier in the game he chose not to throw the ball home with Hayden's shot. That one may be coming through a little too aggressively, like nobody's even going first to third. And instead of breaking down, there's nowhere to throw it. Just break down and keep the ball in front of you. He whiffs the catch and allows two runners to advance. And Chestnut keeps the streak alive of hitting 1,000 when a runner gets picked off in front of you. Like, it's just every time.
Automatic.
That's caught stealing or pick off, however you want to record it. Cost the Aggies a run, but still plenty of life left in this inning.
Tell you one thing, the bottom of the order for A&M has been huge. When you look at Sorrell had a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs. Camarillo just delivered. Caden Kent's got a couple of hits, and now Chestnut enters the picture. Exiting the picture is going to be Kirby Connell. Marcus Phillips will make his first College World Series appearance when we come back.
Mid to upper 90s. Berkey, I think we probably saw him on his best night. We saw him in the SEC tournament. We go 3 in that one.
Against Vanderbilt?
Yeah, they stretched him out for the first time and kind of tested him just to see how he handled it. And that night he handled it great. Sioux Falls, South Dakota native who played his JUCO ball about a 13-minute drive from me, right across the river at Iowa Western.
And also played in the Little League World Series.
Yep.
A phenom at a very young age. When you see him right, it looks like a major league arm. We got some chirping going on here between the two sides. Looks like maybe Caden Kent pushing more.
This started earlier. Blake Burke walked to the mound and said something to Nolan Kane, the third base coach, was pointing at him. Now we got a little bit more back and forth right here between about everybody on the field.
That's a big part of the game here in the 5th inning. 2 men on, 2 down. They bring in Phillips. And Grahovac, the leadoff hitter, is up. He homered to start the game on a 2-strike shot to right field. There is that fastball, and it has some spin rate on it too, man. That's a 2,590 spin rate on a fastball at 96.
That thing had a little cut action to it too. I mean, it is an angry heater.
Kent at third, Chestnut at second.
98 right there. That first 96 mile. I don't know if he's trying to throw a cutter or if it just cuts. It really doesn't matter. But moving just glove side away from the right-handed hitter at mid-90s, there's not too many that do that.
23 homers on the year for this guy, Gavin Grahovac, and the runner comes halfway down third before he goes back as Kent's trying to get in the head of Phillips, I should say.
Really interesting that Tennessee's going with signs too. He's got the pitch com on his wrist, yet Cal Stark's still going with signs behind the plate.
98 up. And you can feel the Phillips effort every time he throws it. This will get the crowd into it a little bit. Big spot. We've seen Tennessee come from behind a whole bunch this season. We saw it happen here. On a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Marcus Phillips enters the game. Grahovac exits stage right. 98 and gas, and it stays 7-2.
Shorter swings and, not get a home run or anything like that, but get something going for us.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, KB, thank you very much. He got more to end the fourth. You take a look at the line for Ryan Prager. 76 pitches. Again, a day short. 4 innings. He has not walked anybody, which is his calling card. He's got 6 strikeouts. So it's Burke, Amick, and Dreiling. And if last inning was big, this inning is even bigger for him. Ball 1 to start.
Say today for Prager, too, he's definitely not as sharp as he was the other day. I mean, I know he hadn't walked anybody, struck out 6. Those are big numbers, but Tennessee had 3 hits in the second inning and 3 hits in the third inning. But he's battled through it.
And most importantly, hasn't given up a home run. I mean, to this offense, if you can keep them in the building, you can scatter some hits.
And his ballpark's given up a lot of homers. 29 now in this College World Series. 2 balls and a strike. It's a lot different from when we moved down here in 2011 and 12 and 13 and teams were bunting, and that's how the games would produce runs. Now it goes over the wall a whole handful of times.
I like the way this ballpark plays now.
100% right now.
I think it's
very fair.
I think it's fair. I mean, if you get one, it's going to go.
Especially considering the wind that we have had for most of this event. I mean, it has not been a home run friendly wind, and yet still the second most homers ever here. It's been pretty impressive display.
2-2. Burke sent one back up the middle his last time up, and this ball is driven to left field. Sorrell going back. He's not going to get it. Bounces off the wall. Made a good play off the wall. Diving in with a double to lead things off. Blake Burke. There's a lot of offense in the volunteer bats, and Sorrell did everything he could out there and left.
That fastball out over the plate, and Burke just continues to barrel balls up. A liner his last at bat, and this a rocket off the left center field wall. Has really transformed himself from just a home run hitter to a complete hitter. And the doubles on the stat sheet this year for Blake Burke indicate that. 29 now on the season.
Amick has struck out twice. Hasn't looked comfortable. You see the number Berkey just gave you, 29. Best in D1. He goes back to the bag. He's tying his shoe out there at second base.
The thing about Burke having 29 doubles, too, it's a small ballpark, and he's not exactly a blazer, right? So he's not getting a bunch of leg doubles either. It's just been a laser show for him this year.
Josh Stewart is definitely ready. This is now the second inning that he's been up and going, and
he's become a very dependable guy late, hasn't he? Because it wasn't always that way this season.
And the trust factor for the last few weeks has grown more every time that he's been out there.
Well, that may be the time now with Prager facing Amick, who he did strike out twice for the third time as Jim Schlossnagle comes out.
Prager faced a minimum in the first, but after that, Tennessee gets some really good swings, and I don't think this is just a discussion. I think they go to the bullpen right here.
There's no doubt about it. So they're going to bring in the right-hander to deal with the middle of this Tennessee order. Vitello said it would be huge to get him out. Listen to the ovation as he heads out, and we head to break for Ryan Prager.
Josh Stewart throws a bunch of sliders, except when he came in last time, when I think thought they'd see a lot of sliders, and he pumped 3 straight fastballs to start.
He gets Billy Amick. And Amick may be one of the more happy guys to see Prager out of the game. He didn't look very comfortable in striking out twice. Real good hitter in the 3-hole. A junior at 6'1", 217.
On the season, Josh Stewart has thrown almost 60% sliders. Comes in first 2 pitches there. Weird, Stewart did not pitch in the regionals, did not pitch in the supers, but has been absolutely nails here in Omaha. Yeah.
Yes.
Behind 2-0. Gets the call with another one on the corner. 2 balls and a strike.
And for Amick, it's reverse splits. He's about just shy of 340 against right-handers this year, 60 points higher than when he faces lefties. So yeah, for a variety of reasons, I think he was happy for Prager to leave.
Missed.
It's a pretty good take right there. That's the exact slider Stewart's trying to throw. A ball that probably a strike, about 98% of its life, just misses the edge.
Clemson transfer with 14 doubles, 23 homers on the year, and he should get a good one, and he did, and he was taking it 3-2.
Wow, almost looked like he was taken all the way right there.
It did.
Unless he's just sold out the slider. That was a good one to hit.
3-2, they're setting up high. And he went low and missed. Stewart comes in, walks the first man he faces. And given what they've seen, 29 come from behind wins from Tennessee and that big one against Florida State. Rocky Top is ready for an outburst.
Well, they're at the right spot in the order. Dylan Dreiling, only Blake Burke hits better with runners in scoring position than this man right here has come up with a ton of big hits as Max Wiener makes his way to the mound. All smiles when he goes out there, KP.
Yeah. Talked with Max this morning. He's permanently optimistic. There's no other way that he goes through a day. And most of these mound meetings have very little to do with nothing other than trying to get the mind right, trying to flush that. They made a big deal when Cortez pitched the other night and threw 8 pitches. The message was, by the time you leave the mound and get back to the dugout, forget everything that just happened. Like, this night wasn't yours. We're going to need you.
Yes.
All of these positive reminders, and Wiener has been such an asset to the A&M program.
I feel like he would even smile when he was chewing you out. Like,
yeah.
Like at some point he has to get mad, right?
There has to be something in there, yeah.
But yeah, you talk about positive energy. This dude has it in spades.
And every other coach will tell you one of the great things that Schlossnagle did was bring him in. So here's Dreiling, big spot, 7-2. And a good pitch, 92 in there for a strike. Dylan Dreiling 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, and he has been their best hitter, at least as far as number of hits with runners in scoring position this year. He's got 33 of them. On the corner, another good one there as Stewart locks in. Look at the numbers with runners in scoring position from Dylan Dreiling.
And he was the guy with the walk-off hit against Florida State. Incredible as the night Christian Moore had, going 5 for 6 with the cycle plus a double. Dreiling was 4 for 6 that night with the biggest hit of them all. No stranger to big swings.
We have seen a handful of 2-strike hits tonight. 0-2, and this one is pulled but foul down the line.
For Stewart, it's at fastball that'll get into the low 90s. That one a 93. He'll throw a cutter behind it. He's thrown one this at bat to Dreiling, and then a slider that'll be mid 80s and have a little bit more depth.
Spoiled a couple. The next 0-2. Oof, look out. Look out.
The slider just so much different for Stewart. burst lefties than right-handers. You can tell he wants to wrap that thing around the back foot, but you just don't have the freedom to do it with a left-hander standing in there, especially one that can crowd the plate the way Dreiling can.
Burke, who they used to pinch run for, is standing out there at second, and that's a good one on the corner. He went with a breaking pitch, and it got a piece of the plate. Big strikeout for Stewart.
That was a pretty good one to end on right there. And since coming out of that bullpen, so let's start with a fastball, all right? And it's going to start moving in towards the left-hander. Cutter, another fastball that's fouled straight back. The slider that gets hooked down the line, foul. And then look at this back door. Just enough movement. Just enough movement to bring that back over the plate and steal strike 3 right there.
That was a beautiful pitch.
Yep. There's another guy that's got 2 hits, Hunter Hensley. Tennessee is knocking on the door again. And the A&M arms, Prager and now Stewart, so far have been up to it. About 14 inches of horizontal break, 14 on that vertical as well. That ball is moving from Stewart. Outfield straightaway and deep. The wind continues to blow out here at Charles Schwab Field. Hung over the middle of the plate and he fouled it off.
Just enough on that cutter, just enough to get it off the bat. The pitch shape different between the cutter and the slider. Velocity difference about 5 or 6 miles an hour, but he's leaned on both of those pretty heavily since coming out of the bullpen.
Hensley thought he'd be in center field in spite of that injury, and now he's trying to contribute with the bat again. 3-2.
It does look like these Tennessee right-handers are sitting on that slider away. That's a couple good takes from Amick and Hensley on pitches that are really close.
Tavares Tears on deck. 3-2, 1 out pitch. Strike 3 right down the middle. Josh Stewart back-to-back punch-outs, and they have been huge.
And Max Wiener saw it, KP, right? They're taking those sliders. You know they're sitting on. That's a fastball right down Broadway. And just a fantastic job by the A&M dugout, reading swings and reading takes, because they know if a righty's spitting on those sliders, he's got to be sitting on it.
Well, and Tennessee knows the book. I mean, the book is he's going to throw you sliders. And the minute you see the comfortable take and fouling the one off that should strike him out, just lock him up with a fastball right there because he wasn't looking for it.
Here's Tears, 20 homers on the year. And he gets ahead with a fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Josh Stewart's average fastball velo on the year is 91.3.
He likes this environment.
The last two are 94. He is feeling it.
Tennessee 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. The 0-2. That one a slow roller. First base vacated. Now hustling back in time is Burton. Josh Stewart comes in, walks the first man, then strikeout, ground out. Marcus Phillips back on the mound from Iowa Western Community College in 2023. He's a 6'4" righty, and you can see he has got all sorts of stuff. You didn't think he would be here last year. He has been thrown into the fire tonight, and he's got that high riding fastball at 96 miles an hour. Easy as well. So last June, he was in the stands at Charles Schwab just to watch the College World Series. and he dreamt about someday being on the field. He actually went to a Tennessee game that day, and he sat next to Hunter Ensley's family. Said, I didn't know him. I didn't know who he was. And here we are after that June date, about 4 months later. Watch out. He was a teammate.
Yeah, Frank Anderson had a connection there with the junior college coach that had bore fruit in the past, and Frank just kind of took him at his word. Like, hey, we got a guy here you need to take a look at.
This arm plays.
Yes.
Laviolette has seen a bunch of pitches in 3 plate appearances. On a 2-1, he will not chase. And that's the biggest concern with Phillips, right? His ability to control and command.
And it's for the most part, it's one pitch. I mean, he'll throw you a slider, but it's fastball heavy.
That one actually had a little bit of run to it. First inning when he came in, high leverage, everything had cut and it was getting off the bat. That one had 2-seam run away from Laviolette. He can figure out a way to do both of those intentionally. Run that 2-seamer at 97 away and then cut it at 97. Pretty good combo.
Power on power, 28 bombs off the bat of Laviolette, and this one is lifted to left field. Should be playable for Dreiling, and he's there, and that's a big first out after falling behind for Marcus Phillips. That guy gets healthy, obviously, over the year. Probably going to impact where he plays and what he does in the course of the summer, but 28 homers this year, there's a real chance for 30-plus next year.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And he has nothing to prove in summer ball. Obviously, I'm sure he would love to go be a part of the USA team, or Cape Cod, or wherever he plans on going to play. But he certainly doesn't need a lingering hamstring issue to trail him into the fall either.
Ball 1 to Jackson Appel. Double single, scored a run. He hits 3 for this A&M lineup, and he's now ahead 2-0. Finance major, University of Pennsylvania. I said, well, you're going to end up being like an agent. You're going to deal with other people's money. He said, well, first I want to finish this baseball journey. And that felt like it was more about the journey after this. It wasn't about just here. He's got real aspirations.
He's going to be a decent draft. He's got a switch hitting catcher who can catch and throw. Shown the ability to hit at the highest level.
Uh-oh.
Yep, we got balls counting. And the 12th man does not deliver. Ball 4. 3 balls and a strike. Imagine all the years that these two programs have played baseball and what baseball means to these schools and these communities. This is a chance for the first ever championship by both. And that's why you had a migration from College Station and from Knoxville here, because to witness the first one, so important, and a story you will tell the rest of your life. 3-2. Doesn't get the call, and he missed outside. Good at bat by Appel. Jackson has now reached all 3 of the 4 times he's been up. There you go, bud. What do we got in there? What do we got? Popcorn? Oh, 1 piece at a time. I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone do that.
Patient.
No,
never mind.
There we go.
That's the appropriate way. Just slam.
Runner goes. They will throw from the knees, and Appel stolen another base. He's their best. He's got 16 on the season now.
And again, just right out of the gate, not even waiting around. You know, Phillips is thinking about throwing strike 1, and he is not quick to the plate. And as soon as Appel got his chance, he took it.
They played at 5 in the 3rd, and they have gotten to the bullpen of Tennessee. The flyover today was loud and impressive. In fact, we got a double dose because yesterday, while we were walking out of the ballpark on practice day, it buzzed the tower, and there were clouds up there. So all you heard were these huge noises, and you couldn't see them. And then on their way back to the base, you could see them, and you're like, okay, I see. They're practicing. We like that practice. Here's Andrew Banke, 3-1, 308. And he will get a very difficult to get out Hayden shot for his pitch strike.
Banke's been very good against left-handers, just hitting 167 against him on the year.
Columbia staring out there at second base. Kid from Penn on the 1-1. That's at the top of the zone, 1-2. Two for two. He reached on an error. He has scored one. And Banke fooled him there. Shot front-footed it.
Got him all the way out in front of that slider right there. The shot didn't like the look of this one. Banke, another one of the reasons why this Tennessee pitching staff has been so good top to bottom. There is a lot of depth. And if there's a team that can come back and fight through, if you got to use a bunch of guys today, Tennessee is definitely that team. Good job left on left right there to get Hayden shot, who had 2 hits and had hit it hard all 3 times.
And now Burton. Huntington Beach, California kid with 2 outs. And that didn't miss by much, but he's behind 1-0. And you keep an eye out there at Appel at second base. Took a pretty aggressive lead. Let me see if you can force a throw and maybe an error and pick up another run. '91 on the corner, down and away. And Burton, this is a slow roll to third. There may not be any play. Banke wisely eats it. And they will have first and third as Burton will reach on an infield single.
I thought it was smart to keep it in his pocket, KP.
Yep. If anything right there, I mean, maybe you fake the throw just to see if there's any chance that Appel comes too far off of third base and spin, but no reason to throw that ball to first.
Story of the game for A&M here into the 6th has been the 2-strike hitting and the freshman approach. Grahovac with a homer. And Caden Sorrell, single and an RBI in the first, single and an RBI in the third. He is up again with 2 men on. And Sorrell smokes one to right. Chapman is there, and he is able to make the play.
I will say the positives are that the bat to ball and the power are both world class. So you got a slugger that hits, which is always nice, and OPS was off the charts, drew a ton of walks. I wouldn't even call it a negative. I would just say the question mark is where does he settle in defensively? Because we've seen him at first, third, and then he's played all 3 outfield positions. So that will be interesting for me to see where he ends up playing defensively at the next level.
This is Dean Curley, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, you're speaking about defensively and where people play. Like, there's a chance Curley next year moves off short and maybe goes to third base. The ability and the versatility which Major League Baseball highlights with its players bouncing around, college baseball's been doing that forever.
I think Curley kind of profiles him. He's 6'3", 212 as a freshman. And it's one of the stronger arms you'll see. Kind of profiles maybe more as a third baseman. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does slide over there next year. But, man, what a season he's had. There are not a whole lot of freshmen starting in college baseball at the highest level of the sport. And
especially at shortstop in the SEC.
On this team, exactly.
To get that much offense out of him.
This ball sky high, shallow left field. Sorrell will come running in, and he will make the play. And there is one down here. Inky dinky doo. Pete Cavilla in 85-48. There's your buddy Lance Berkman, who had 41. Condon got to 37. And he won the Golden Spikes Award.
I think Berkman drove in 126 that year.
It was well over 100. I know that.
It's not a bad year of college baseball. But I thought that there was a really good chance that Condon was going to get to 40 this year and didn't quite make it, but a legendary season nonetheless.
For a guy that didn't play his freshman year.
Yeah, I think people probably who follow college baseball know Condon's story, but his story is incredible. As Grahovac moves into a shift now again with one out. So the left side is wide open for Dalton Bargo, the Omaha, Nebraska kid, and he swings and misses at the first one. Bargo bats for Reese Chapman, who's the right fielder. He used to come to games forever, watching the teams come to Omaha, and now he gets a chance to wear the Vols uniform and play on this field. And you know what that's like, KP. Pretty cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, we've seen a lot of Omaha kids come through and play. And for Dalton Bargo from Omaha Westside High School, about a 15, 20-minute drive from here. Started the Vols opener here. We'll get the chance to come off the bench in the finals.
1-2. Stewart has been solid so far, and he throws him a fastball at 93 with an uptick in that velocity. And he continues to be very effective.
That at bat against Bargo, that's what I threw. It was fastball, and now having a pretty good idea how to use that four-seamer at the top. When you see that barrel dip like it did earlier in the at bat for Bargo, that's where you want to go. You want to elevate the fastball, see if he'll swing underneath it, because that swing pad tells you he probably will.
2 runs on 8 hits for the vaunted Volunteer offense. Prager and Stewart. 2 down in the 6th for Stark. Couldn't get the barrel on that slider. He's behind 0-1. There is Prager. That incredible weapon Cortez in a 7-2 game. You leave him right on the bench, and likely in game 2 he will figure in a potentially huge way for A&M. Good pitch there on the inside corner. Fastballs and sliders and a steady diet of them. Right where he wanted it. Stark doesn't offer. I mean, how many times have we come to the finals of the World Series that over the course of the NCAA tournament, and certainly here, like, some guy has to emerge and be a stud, and maybe we're seeing that with Stewart.
It is kind of crazy, though, how quickly their trust factor went through the roof. And some of it is, I mean, with Seo down, I mean, there's going to have to be somebody else. But they are not afraid to put this kid in at big spots. And that hasn't necessarily been the way all year.
Really good take. Good pitch from Stewart. No offer from Stark.
And these Tennessee hitters continue to be all over the slider. It's obvious they know the report, and Stewart's made most of his work with the fastball. I'd expect to see one here.
Look where Stark is on that plate with his back foot. He is on the white line. And he'll move that left foot in on a 2-2. Full count. Christian Moore on deck. Will he get a chance to hit here in the 6th? Kept him in check tonight. He is 0 for 3. Back foot right on that corner. Ball 4, just missed, and a 2-out walk issued to Stark. Back to the top of the order for Christian Moore. Call him Simo, and Simo is due.
Now this one will be interesting because it's been very clear Tennessee's on the slider. They haven't done any damage on it yet, but they've taken some really tough ones. And Stewart's going to have to continue to stay unpredictable here, because if he throws the wrong breaking ball over the plate to Simo, he might not get it back.
Anxious at the plate. That's a swing. It's strike one. And that guy doesn't give up anything. Evan Aschenbeck, when do they go to him? Phenomenal numbers, a 1.54 ERA on the season. About a half run lower than any other pitcher. Stewart ready on the 0-1. That's outside. Woo, race to the right field line, and it got into the seats. That jumped off his bat, and we've seen it a whole bunch of times at 107 miles an hour.
You were talking about the last at bat with Christian Morehouse. It's just a tick late.
Everything's a little deep right now.
What's the message to the pitching coach after that swing? What do you do here?
If you're throwing a slider, it can't be over the plate. You better get it down and off the dish.
1-2, and he did do that. This one towards the dugout. Look out! Over the railing goes Burton. He paid no attention to the railing and just kept going as if he was going to go into the stands to make the play.
He didn't break stride.
No, he was hell-bent on going to get it.
Ted, there's a warning track here, bud. You got to feel it. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, he took a peek, but he peeked so late he was already full stride into the railing.
Give us a handstand, Mr. Burton.
Appears to be just fine.
You creep up on the plate, Berkey, with that slider, or you stay where you usually do?
I would stay where I was because I don't want to chase the one off the plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Moore. Way out.
The other thing you worry about that too is then are you tipping your hand and then they just bust you one in.
Inside. Yep.
Stewart has shown that he's not afraid to throw that fastball.
Moore hit a ball 117 miles an hour on a line into a 30-mile-an-hour wind over the wall in center. 2-2. Did he check? They'll check first. No swing. Similar situation we saw in that Tennessee game where they had another check swing that was not called a strike, and that ended up being a big rally for them.
No swing.
That appeared to be a check.
Yeah.
On the ground to short, fielded cleanly. Camarillo throws across. They've kept Moore in check. He's 0 for 4. The lead is 5. And he told me about that story. He said when he got to third base here in Omaha, he had flashbacks to the Little League World Series. Yeah. He said, I remember I hit a triple in Omaha, and I hit a triple in Williamsport. He remembered it both. And I said to him, I said, you remember the 09 Parkview team, the Chula Vista team had, remember Luke Ramirez was a giant and used to he hit balls. I said, well, I know him well. I know the family really well. But I was there in 16. I didn't remember that they were there. I remember the Ramirez Chula Vista team. Yeah. They were incredible. I think they were there the year, I believe the Maine Enwell won the whole thing. In any event, the highlights, I look back at some of those clips of him in regionals and super regionals in Little League. He could put back to the ball then, too.
Almost identical swings.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh. Really good.
So Dalton Margot's gone into play right field for Tennessee. 7-2, we go to the 7th inning. This is game 1. Best of 3. Each team looking for its school's first baseball championship. And now behind Banky is 3-0 to Camarillo. gets the call at the letters.
Disappointed in maroon. They were just waiting for their first ball 5 chant of the night.
Ball.
Ravi, Kate and Kent coming up here. We've had some fun with Dad just locked in on the seats, never really smiling no matter what his son does as he continues finishing off the bag of seats. I asked Kate and go, what could you do to make Dad smile? So, well, win a College World Series is probably it. He said he's been that way my whole life. There's just this attitude of never satisfied. That double, could it have been a triple? And while that was tough, it's also what allowed him to have that work ethic throughout this season when he wasn't in the lineup constantly, to have the moments like he's had in this postseason when his time was called.
Well, he has been phenomenal since he's been inserted into the lineup. He also said he recognizes, too, he knows that Dad would like to see Caden pass him on. Like, he wants to be better, and he wants me to be better than he was. And he did say, look, he'll give me a nod before I step in the box. And there's Mom's. Mom is the biggest cheerleader we have. You know, Dad, as you know, dads aren't there when they're Major League Baseball players. They're on the road, so Mom is cast with all sorts of responsibilities. I asked him, like, who was his heroes growing up? He said, well, Posey and Matt Cain were the guys. He said Matt Cain was sick. That's how he described the former Giant pitcher. Fastball down the middle. I mean, it took a bit, but this was, see, Mom's cheering at some. There you go.
There we go. Well, pull up the clip of the walk-off homer hit against the Cardinals in 04. You'll see him smile. It's possible.
It happens.
Yes.
That one's high. They'll throw it down to first. Diving back, Camarillo.
Those two are so good at that play. Stark and Blake Burke. I mean, there's some kind of movement between them to where Burke knows that Stark's going to spin down and throw behind the runners, but Burke is outstanding at getting back to the bag, letting that ball travel, just snapping a tag down.
1-1. And you can just feel the confidence in Kent building every time he sees his name, every time he steps in the box. Two and two.
Well, he's an interesting story because they view him a little bit of a tweener defensively, and then offensively, even though he's a big, strong kid, there hasn't been a ton of power just yet in his career. They've always valued his bat to ball and the professional way he goes about his at bats. It's just he hasn't quite been able to bust into the lineup. But he stayed ready. And as soon as Braden Montgomery went down and they called on him, he's been as valuable as any hitter in their lineup.
Yeah, and there's versatility there. We saw him earlier this week go from second base. He goes playing third base. He's got 3 long balls on the year, and he's got a good duel going with Banky right now. A&M has taken advantage of Tennessee on the base paths. This one is lifted deep to right field. Kent has done it! Home run, Caden Kent. Dad's off his seat. Mom's got the bubbles, and there's the applause. 4th of the year.
What are you saying about that power coming?
Yeah. That'll bring the old man to his feet. Jeff Kent, no stranger to long balls in meaningful games. How about a 2-run rocket into right field? It's a slider working away from him. He gets into his legs to extend the barrel just enough to reach this one over the right field wall. And the Aggies just continue to add to the lead, and Caden Kent now 4 ribbies on the night.
And the bottom of the order for the Aggies have been outstanding. Caden Kent, Clark Kent right now, he has been Superman for the Aggies.
Pretty special deal. I mean, we talked about it on the mound with this Aggies club, but
100%.
Kent offensively has been the other guy. Oh, that's a cool shot right there. Braden Montgomery giving it up.
You know, Caden did say, as you just saw that, he said, it is amazing what Braden Montgomery has taught me. He says, I've watched players take BP, and Braden was the guy that I have taken the most from. Work ethic, swing path, really the joy that Braden Montgomery brings into the dugout and pulling for his guys. He's had the biggest impact on Caden Kent.
He was kind of that guy from day one when he got there. I mean, it's an infectious personality, and then it also happens to be one of the most talented baseball players in the entire country. And so you're going to listen right away because the success that he'd had, but he's really turned into a leader since getting to A&M too.
How about A&M 9, Tennessee 2? And it's the Aggies who have out-homered the Vols tonight. Grahovac and Kent. And he's an affable kid. And was it you who had that conversation with him? He's a sponge. He wants to know. Like, you play with my dad. You know my dad. Tell me some stories.
Yeah, I didn't play with him long, but he was a memorable player. I got to play against him for a couple years too. I mean, just one of the greats of his generation, no doubt about it. There's a lot of baseball knowledge in that man's memory bank.
3-1, sky high. Caught by Curley on a ball that was up there about 8 seconds.
Did you talk hitting with his dad ever?
No. Watched, but never got into the mental side of it with him. But there was a lot to learn just by watching him, especially the way he handled himself in runners in scoring position. He just was one of the best at using the backside of the field.
And Barry Bonds needed protection in San Francisco, and he helped.
Yes, he did.
He was really, really, really good. Back to Grahovac, who's been awfully impressive as well, both in the field and at the plate. He misses badly. It's 2-0. You know, it feels like, guys, in the middle innings, Tennessee had their chance. They had chances to score, and their inability to punch them in and give credit to both Prager and Stewart for keeping them at bay. But they had runners.
They've left 10 guys on base.
Yeah.
They left 2 on base in the second, third, and the fifth. So there's been opportunities. And listen, I mean, they can score runs in bunches. This thing isn't done yet.
Yep. It is interesting in a 7-run game. Like, do you expose them again to Aschenbeck, or do you
not yet.
The brakes? Right?
I wouldn't yet. If you can get through this thing without using Aschenbeck and win it, if you're A&M, that is a really big deal.
Yeah, so far it's a dream scenario for Jim Schlossenagel. They have a comfortable lead, and they've only had to use one of their best bullpen arms. Again, they've only used 5 pitchers to this point at the College World Series. 2 of them have handled all the outs so far.
Change up to punch out Grahovac. And that'll bring up Jace Laviolette. LSU had their day last year, and of course Skeens and Cruz were outstanding, and we saw Florida go all the way to the finals. Florida squeaked in this year and was awfully impressive again. So Kevin O'Sullivan and company work in the portal. They'll be a high-ranked team when the season begins next year. LSU will reload again. Arkansas was #1 for a big part of this year.
But the SEC was decent this year. It was okay.
So they got 9 runs. They have 13 hits, and this guy doesn't have a hit yet. Jace Laviolette. And you do wonder, you have to wonder what the impact of that hamstring is on him. He hadn't had a hit since he hurt it.
No. He's had a fairly quiet series for his standards, but it just shows you the depth of this offense.
1-2. That one was hung up there, and he pulled it foul.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Jace Laviolette's hitting 185 for the postseason.
Right.
And Braden Montgomery got hurt. And they're 9 outs away from being 1-0
and they haven't lost
in the finals. They haven't lost a game. But again, the pitching and the emergence of Kent are such a big piece of that story.
2 heroes tonight of the many for them. Prager and Kent. Laviolette, that is a fair ball. That's fielded cleanly by Burke. Jace is out. 4 in a row and 6 of their last 8. And yes, it's Clark and Reese tomorrow. Chicago busy tomorrow. Sunday Night Baseball. You got the Fever and Angel Reese and Sky playing. Ball. Back here, Tennessee finds itself in a 7-run hole. Two, 3, and 4. Blake Burke against Stewart.
Yeah, the game within the game right now for the Tennessee offense. 2 things. Number one, you just want to put some things together to feel good about the way you finish the ball game. And the second thing would be, can you scare the A&M dugout enough to get Aschenbeck in the game? That's even if you lose game 1, you feel like you got to figure out a way to get Aschenbeck out there.
For Stewart, longest outing of the year this year, he went 3 1/3 at Alabama. Most pitches that he had thrown in an outing was 45 in that outing. His last pitch was his 46th here tonight.
One ball, 2 strikes. So remember, they faced Evansville, did Tennessee. They won their first game. Then they lost to Evansville. Then they came back and sort of played like with a different level. They were angry, I guess. They won that last game 12-1. So unlike A&M, they lost a game in the postseason. Stewart gets him fishing, and Burke retired.
They've only lost back-to-back games once this year, and that was their only series loss at Alabama. As you see Stewart go to that back foot slider to get Burke fishing. Stewart just continues to execute pitches and mix that 2-pitch combo up just enough to keep Tennessee off balance. That slider is pretty special when he spins it right.
I just saw something there. I don't know what it was, because he went out to Mike Morrison, home plate umpire, and
did he slip?
I don't know, but he brought the trainer out as well.
Now, whatever it was, Stewart was very convincing.
I mean, he had a little hop.
Yeah.
Hop was a little bit different. It was enough to just go out and make sure that he was feeling all right.
Because he's going to be a big piece. This is not going to be the only time, if they're going to win, probably, that Stewart's going to be on this mound. Riding fastball in on the hands of Amick.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, you wonder how many can he go tonight and still be able to bounce back if they're able to hang on and this thing potentially goes 3, because there's no way he's going tomorrow.
No. Looks like a couple of right-handers warming in the bullpen for A&M. It's a little different this at bat since that meeting.
Well, he threw 37 his first time out in the College World Series against Kentucky. Came back on 1 day's rest. So 2 days later and threw 30 against Florida. But obviously getting to a spot that he hasn't been in his time at A&M, pushing that pitch count up over 50.
And again, they've used 5 through the tournament. It looks like they could go a little deeper tonight because they have that luxury, and they probably also know if they get a couple runners on, we have the firemen out there if we need them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does look like we're going to see somebody new that hasn't pitched yet here in Omaha.
3-1. That's ball 4.
Yeah, I think they go get him now. Stuff looks a little bit different. He's taking you further than he has this year, and I know you want to squeeze as many out as you can. Look like double barrel action. Zane Budmeiv and Brad Rudis both throwing.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Max Weiner coming out to talk with him now. Okay, I love Max. Max is not afraid to hop it out there. He'll run out and he'll run back.
Great pace.
Oh, Rav was right on that the first time when he went running out there. Knew exactly where he was going to.
Maybe he could inspire others to do that. You know, he's a coach. As he said to me earlier, like all of his brothers, they went to military school when he was young. And I think he was 12. By the time he was 15, he was in charge of 60 guys. That means getting up early in the morning. Like, you got to get up before they do. You got to polish the spoons. You got to do all of that. So the leadership thing, that's his MO. He loves, and I think he comes from a family of high achievers. But he loved that role and responsibility and took it on as a 15-year-old. How many 15-year-olds know you're running out of bed at 4:30 in the morning to polish spoons and make sure you're in charge of everybody?
You caught me off guard with the polished spoons.
That's what he told me.
I didn't realize that was on the agenda, but yeah, you're right. That didn't sound like a bunch of laughs.
So they leave him in to face Dreiling. First pitch misses.
Not polishing spoons in the Burke household these days?
No, just trying to get them cleaned. Keep them off the floor when we use utensils, Kyle.
Yeah, that does bring up a dinner we recently had with Berkey and sushi. You know those chopsticks? Allergic to them. He goes bare hand in the big plate.
Wash. Chopsticks are eyewash. Like, we have fingers with thumbs.
Dishes.
Just use them.
You know what? Dreiling right field. Laviolette. Oh, he ran right into the wall, and it is gone. Dylan Dreiling, a 2-run shot. 9-4 for a second. I thought we were going to see Laviolette make another home run robbing catch, but he banged into the corner of the wall, and Dreiling leaves the yard for the 21st time this season.
Yeah, Berkey, it's right at the spot where the bullpen ends and that wall jets out a little bit. Pretty good job pulling those hands in here too. Backspinning us out to right field, but I thought he was going to rob another one. And if he doesn't bang into the wall, he might.
Yeah, he totally lost track of where he was because he's at a space where there is a little more room until there isn't. And right when he takes that last step to his right, he was timing his jump.
Ooh, he had it.
That's probably lower than the ball he robbed from Cade Curlin early in the week. But he just runs out of room, and the Aggies probably kicking themselves for not making a pitching change.
Yep. They had a lot of conversations with Stewart. He's going to leave the game. And Tennessee, a little sign of life here. They get a couple. 9-4 with one out. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I think he makes the play.
And that is within inches of where the other ball was hit. It's the exact same spot in the wall. It's the exact, just a different outcome. So Brad Rudis comes on for the 24th time. He's been really good out of this A&M bullpen all season. 6-0 with a 229 sidewinder that will get you a lot of ground balls when it's right. It's that good late action, everything. Fastball changeup will move pretty hard to the arm side, so down and into a right-handed hitter.
Dylan Dreiling, who hit that home run, is 3 for 4 tonight with a couple of singles and that long ball. Now it's Hunter Ensley, who has reached twice. A couple of singles, and Rudis is ready in a 9-4 game. At the knees. That's wicked. That's a strike.
Dylan Dreiling now 9 for 16.
Yeah, killing it.
World Series.
Ansley, left field. And gone. Big fly for Ansley. Back-to-back home runs for the Vols. And they chip away again. It's now 9-5. Hunter Ansley's third hit tonight. 12th home run of the year.
We talked about them making a little run just to feel a little better, get a little momentum, and maybe get Aschenbeck up. They might have done it all in one inning here, guys. Now a 4-run ball game, 3-spot in a heartbeat. This game just got real interesting.
And they're not wasting any time.
Nope.
They're going straight to Aschenbeck right now.
One pitch. One homer. Jim Schlossnagle out. And the best reliever in college baseball, Evan Aschenbeck, will come in. We're in the bottom of the 7th. There is one out. Dreiling left the building. Hunter Ansley. Exit stage left. A no-doubter. We got ourselves a new ball game. Aschenbeck coming in. Well, it's become a 9-5 ball game. Game 1 of this Men's College World Series with Chris Budden, Kyle Peterson, and Chris Burke. I'm Carl Ravitch. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. There is one man down, and out of Brenham, Texas, you bring in Evan Aschenbeck. He's an interesting guy, given his numbers are so great. Doesn't walk anybody, strikes out so many. And if you're just watching him for the first time, you'd be like, geez, it's not overpowering in any way. How does he do it?
I mean, it's fastball right about 90 miles an hour. How he does it is he uses all three, and he uses all three about equally between the fastball, the slider, and the changeup, and he throws a ton of strikes. If he is in the game now, he is in the game to finish the game. The left-hander is coming in to try to get the final 8 outs.
Certainly, Rocky Top is feeling a little better about things. Tavares Tears, who has one of the defensive plays of the night, will step up. A little more energy from the Big Orange. First pitch, ground ball, that's going to be foul.
The startling thing with Aschenbeck, it's not necessarily the run prevention, even though it's fantastic how effective he's been from an ERA standpoint. It's how low the hit total is. I mean, 47 hits.
70 innings.
In 70 innings for a guy that doesn't have overpowering stuff it doesn't really compute.
Well, he's walked 12 guys the whole year.
So that many strikes, yet almost no hits.
Great pitch there.
Left on left changeup.
Less than 20,000 people in that town of Brenham. Second season with the Aggies. That's how he gets guys out. Wicked slider away. And Tears shaking his head.
Well, Aschenbeck comes out and says, all right, I'm going to show you all of them here right away. Fastball to start, changeup to get the second strike, and then the slider to finish Tavares Tears off right there. But we were talking to this A&M coaching staff today. He's from Blinn Junior College, comes in the first fall, and they're like, we honestly were thinking about maybe cut. Like, we weren't sure if he was going to make the club, let alone pitch. This year, he's been the most reliable relief pitcher in all of college baseball.
And he pours in another strike. Dean Curley's the shortstop. His dad described the A&M experience as a dream come true, and that Evan and his family came in 09 when he was just, he said, a little bitty kid to watch. That miss is high. We live about 45 minutes from the A&M campus, so they can all go watch him do his thing.
Well, and you said, KP, he's in the game to finish it, which would be 2 2/3. And with the length that Stewart gave them, that's 2 of their best 3 bullpen bullets. Very heavy workloads here in game 1.
At the letters 2 2. Curley will not chase. They need base runners. Dean Curley, a couple of hits. He flew out to left. Ready on a 3-2. He went with a fastball, and he got him. Aschenbeck comes in and strikes out Tears and Curley.
Well, the Vols are back in it. 2 swings, and this is what they can do. Dylan Dreilig's having a heck of a College World Series. And Hunter Ensley follows with a slider that goes into left field bullpen. Vols cut into a 4-run lead.
They bring in the lefty, the freshman, Dylan Lloyd, making his 20th appearance. Numbers could be pretty good. Strikeout to walk. He didn't give up a ton of hits in 28 innings. Now just again trying to keep this lead where it is for A&M, not let it grow and get the bats back up for the final 2.
Carl, a guy that grew up in Pigeon Forge, about an hour from Knoxville, growing up a huge Tennessee fan. When he finally got the offer to come to Tennessee when he's in high school, he was like, well, everyone told me you got to play it cool. Like, don't commit right away. He's like, I lasted a day, and then I was like, yeah, I'm coming.
KP, I guess he kind of showed his hand, huh? He wasn't a good poker player. I'm in.
Will you? Yes. Yes, I will.
Yes.
I will.
Can I think it? Yes.
He had his moment this year in the SEC championship game against LSU. His best outing of the year, 4 2/3 scoreless in that one against the Tigers after A.J. Russell started that game. Left-hander hasn't pitched a ton since then, but that was definitely the high water mark. Could definitely go the rest of the way if we see from him what we saw that day.
His ERA at Pigeon Forge, which KB just brought up, was 0.09 his senior year.
0.09.
0.09. Batters hit 0.97 against him.
He didn't want to play Pigeon Forge. You ever been to Pigeon Forge, Berkey?
Yeah. Oh. It's right there in Gatlinburg.
So Lloyd to Appel swings at the first one, right center field it goes, but it is misplayed and then caught in right field. Bargo didn't get a great read on it, stuck his glove out and stuck the landing.
Maybe not the most direct route here, KP. Bargo breaks back like this ball's headed to the wall and then has to come in here late, but give him credit. He took that ball off the turf with a backhanded catch, and he has to go down late to keep this one from being extra bases. A heck of a recovery there by Dalton Bargo.
That's a great catch. Yeah. Great catch.
Man, he takes this one right off the grass.
And he caught it. Yeah, they're going to challenge this too, because you can't take him with it. You might as well ask, but I don't think this one's going to take very long. Yeah, a little deeper route than maybe you would ideally like to take, but he made up for it at the end. Now he gets to watch himself on TV. Turn around and watch the replay.
This is a good one because everybody can see that it's quite clearly a catch.
After further review, the ruling on the field of out is confirmed. Texas A&M is charged a second challenge, and they have no more remaining for the game.
All right, so out of challenges, A&M. Dalton Bargo, backhand off of the lawn. Kavares Tears, let me throw that on there for you.
Lid back on.
Outfield play continues to be terrific for Tennessee as Lloyd fires and misses. Lloyd's mom was an outstanding athlete. High school in the 90s, played basketball, softball, and track, and passed on all sorts of competitiveness to her boys. And Dylan brings that to the mound here in Omaha. 1-1. Out of play off the bat of Hayden Schott. He's the DH. He's the senior. He's banged up, and he's playing like a hero tonight. Started out reaching on an error, could have been a hit. Then he reached on a single. Then he had a double. He did strike out when Banky came into the game. So this is the third pitcher he has seen. Fourth pitcher he's seen, actually. Two and two. Another one out of play.
Everybody in this A&M lineup has scored a run tonight except Chestnut. I'd say there's some length in this lineup right now.
Yeah, it has gotten really strong at the bottom. Camarillo's had a big night. Kent's been crazy good. And Chestnut did have a hit. He got to second base. He got stranded there. 8-0 in the postseason. It's Texas A&M on a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Another good one from Loy.
I know he probably won't mess with it, but it would be hard if you're Jim Schlossnagle to leave Caden Kent in the 8-hole. You know, it's just as hot as he has been and as clutch as he has been. It's you think that in that dugout they want to see him getting up to bat a few more times. But usually the traditional school thought is if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Very affable, easy to talk to kid right there, Caden Kent. So 2 down. Burton beats it into the ground. That's a fair ball. Amick. They get him 1, 2, 3. They got a chance to grab the bats. See if they can cut further into this 9-5 A&M lead. It was Vanderbilt in 15. Aschenbeck back on the bump. First pitch, swinging at it was Bargo. Feeling his oats after that great catch.
You talk about Aschenbeck stuff, but his last fastball of the 7th inning was 93. Pretty good get-up ball.
Bargo can leave the yard. One ball, one strike. He's got 3 pitches. And there isn't a count in which he won't use them. So with 1 strike now, they vacate third base. Nobody out. And Aschenbeck picks up strike 2. Three on the right side. And that's fouled back up this way.
How much interaction did you have with home plate umpires? Like if you think one's off the plate, were you hey, is that as far as it goes? Or?
Yeah, that's about it. We you got that at the bottom, or is that the edge? Those kinds of things. Most part, you're just trying to hold them accountable with that. First of all, you're telling them you didn't like it.
Aschenbeck does it again. How's he been since he's come in? That's 3 punch-outs. Nicole Briscoe, Zubin Mahente, they're standing by. SportsCenter will follow us. KP will join them to talk about this one. Look ahead to Game 2. Yankees try to avoid a 4th straight loss. Aaron Boone, Aaron Judge both thrown out of that game. And the Oilers and Panthers, we started this College World Series asking about who has a better chance to avoid a sweep, the Mavericks or the Oilers. And KP said that's a silly question, and he's right. The Oilers and Panthers go Game 7. This ball, right center field. Playable and weak contact. And Aschenbeck efficient here with 2 down in the 8th. As he gets Stark to fly out on 1 pitch, and that's a bonus.
Yeah, because if you can face Christian Moore with nobody on base, it's a much better feeling. Whoever it is, whether it's Aschenbeck or anybody out there for A&M. But 2 quick outs. He's retired all 4 that he has seen since coming out of the bullpen and kind of taking the air out of this Tennessee offense for now.
And it's been very efficient,
yes.
Right? You start to think about the very low pitch total. Now you start thinking, yeah, he probably will be available tomorrow if he keeps this pace up.
Moore's been very aggressive, the leadoff hitter. 0 for 4 tonight. Such a unique aspect to the game of baseball versus other ones. You can be so great one day, come back the next, you're facing a different pitcher, and you go hitless. Here's Phil Fulmer right in the middle there.
There's Fulmer in the house.
A&M, the Aggies in the 12th man up for Aschenbeck. And he does his job. A little spin on the mound. Back to the dugout goes Moore, 0 for 5. Aschenbeck, 4 strikeouts. Ninth inning, Sorrell will lead things off. And that's strike 1. So you look at it, they got 3 runs here late. You tell me psychologically how important if you lose, but you kind of showed a little fight here. How does that carry over?
Well, yeah, I think the 3 spot was certainly helpful from a momentum standpoint, and you got Aschenbeck in the game. Now, he has been dominant since entering the game, and it's been pretty low stress, so not quite the win that you're looking for on a moral victory side from Tennessee. And for A&M, it's been about as perfect as it could possibly be. The offense was clutch. Your pitching has been every bit as good as it needs to be. And, you know, Stewart is burned for tomorrow, but if Aschenbeck can get through the 9th with a low pitch count, you have pretty much everybody available tomorrow that you would want.
He's thrown 18 pitches. That's a strikeout of Sorrell. Yeah, and you led 7-1 after 2.5 innings. Like, it's 7-1.
Well, and I mean, if you're Tennessee, you got Drew Beam going long. I don't know if A&M knows who they're going to throw yet.
Yeah.
So it definitely is advantage Tennessee on the mound tomorrow. Drew Beam, will it be his 51st career start tomorrow in college baseball? He's been out there a few times.
Yeah, that's the guy you want to send out there when you're facing elimination, no doubt about it.
Camarillo's been on base a handful of times. He has scored 2 runs so far tonight. Dylan Loy has been very good here for the Vols since he came in. Kent will get another shot. He's in the on-deck circle. That one bends in for a strike. Yeah, you come to Omaha and you know you have a chance like this, and there are a lot of rooms that have a lot of people staying in them. Yeah, it's not just like 1 or 2. We've got rooms with 5, 6, 7 people. We'll find floor space, couch space.
A lot of rollaways.
A lot of rollaways. Hotel rooms have become very hard to find.
In a city that is not short on hotel rooms.
No.
And continues to add. The 2 fan bases here for this series have booked them all solid. Quite a showing by both fan bases here tonight.
Those are the 2 hotels these teams stay in. You see the Hilton and the Marriott. The Hilton is where A&M is. The Marriott is where Tennessee stays. Got an 0-2 against Camarillo as Loy is ready here. He will not chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I do love now that we're starting the finals on a Saturday. I think that was a great change a few years ago because it brings so much more energy for a weekend start. And it's a lot easier for fan bases to get here on the weekend.
Yep. Great point. Swing and a miss. Wicked slider. Camarillo is gone.
Dylan Loy's look really good.
Really good.
And he looked good when we had him. When we had him at the SEC tournament, he was great that day. But has come in, has thrown strikes. He's now punched out 3 in the 2 innings he's been out there, and at least has given this offense a chance to not have to fight back any further.
Mr. Capital One himself, the rewarding performance, Caden Kent with the 4 RBIs, 3 hits, including the homer. How about 14 RBIs in the tournament? He had 14 all regular season.
Oh, most in the field.
How about that? Now we know what puts a smile on Jeff Kent's face.
If you can't smile on that one, I mean,
100%.
Right, we might need to check his pulse. He's living life right there.
Here you go, Cal.
Okay, so you brought it up. Do you move him up in the lineup? Would you if you're making that decision?
I don't. You scored 9 runs. You haven't lost in the postseason. I don't think I would. But it would be hard not to have him up more with the level at which he's approaching his at-bats right now. I mean, he is just so locked in. And it's a barrel show right now. But there is something to lineup chemistry and messing with it. Yeah, comfort and all those kinds of things. And messing with it is pretty dangerous at this point.
And this one to center field. Volunteers is there. We got a half inning to go. Bottom 9, last chance for the Volunteers. To College Station for the first time. Volunteers have 3 outs to play with tonight, and then they get another chance tomorrow at 1 o'clock local time, 2 Eastern on ABC. Aschenbeck's doing what he needs to. He starts Blake Burkhoff with a strike. Keep an eye on that pitch count for Evan Aschenbeck as you think about tomorrow and how quickly he might be able to come back. Missed away. Didn't see Cortez, who when he's wrong, he doesn't last very long. When he's right, he can give you length and absolutely dominate a team.
Yeah, when he's right, they don't touch him.
This was sort of a bend but not break performance by the Aggies pitchers. Tennessee had a whole bunch of base runners. They go 2 for 10 with 2 out, 2 for 11 runners in scoring position, and 5 for 16 with a runner on. A&M has struck out 14 batters tonight, and they have 51 strikeouts at the World Series. Cortez has no gloves and no need right now in a 9-5 game. 3-2. Burke 2 for 4, Amick 0 for 2, and then you get to Dreiling and Ensley, who are 6 for 8 between them, each with 3 hits. And each with a homer. 3-2 on the way.
A little day baseball tomorrow, boys. It's gonna be toasty too.
Shocker.
Triple digit toasty?
Feels like. The old ever popular feels like.
The dreaded ish. Burke doing a really good job. One thing they talked about with this Tennessee team, and you'll see it after, if they lose tonight, how they stay together. The team chemistry that was a focus point. And a lot of times these guys would go hang out at Blake Burke's house and just sort of sit, watch sports, play cornhole, just hang out. And they feel like this is as together a team as perhaps they've had under Vitello. This guy's one of the main reasons.
Well, he's taking a big chunk out of Evan Aschenbeck's pitch count right now. He's running it up there. He's certainly doing his job, whether he wins this at bat or not. But if he does, as you said, Carl, you start to get to the part of the lineup that's been very productive in this ball game.
This will be the 9th pitch of this at bat. Called strike 3. Aschenbeck does it again. Strikeout number 5.
Pretty good pitch right there, KP.
Right pitch. Yeah, I mean, he was fastball heavy. And again, we talked about it when Aschenbeck came in the game. He will throw any of his 3 pitches in any count. It doesn't matter what it is. Gets to 3-2 after Burke had fouled some pretty good fastballs off. That was in top of the zone, but in the zone, and just froze him with a slider.
Just right at that front shoulder, locked him up.
He has faced 6 and struck out 5. And he gets the call there.
Aschenbeck makes the ability to mix 3 pitches in for strikes look so easy. I mean, it is an effortless strike thrower.
And still a ton of, if there's contact, it is very weak contact. 2 outs away from winning Game 1 of this College World Series. And taking a big step forward. People wonder how important is Game 1 of these finals. 13 of the 20 to win Game 1 have gone on to win it, including 9 sweeps. Get to a Game 3 and the advantage of winning Game 1 disappears. That's going to keep the line moving. Amick. He delivers a single with 1 out. Billy Amick struck out his first 2 times up. Since then, he's been on base 3 times with a couple of walks and now a hit. And there are those numbers graphically represented. Now here's Dreiling, who's got 3 hits. Ensley, 3 hits on deck. We talked about Tennessee's ability to hit left-handers.
Looked like he was taking one there. Maybe the approach right against Aschenbeck. We'll see. You're not taking out, that's for sure. But Dreiling has had another big night, man. He likes hitting in this ballpark. 3 hits, including a homer his last time up.
Ball. He thought about it, but he takes it. It's 2 balls and a strike. And again, keep an eye on that pitch count now to 34 pitches. And if there's any team in this country that believes this lead is not insurmountable, it's the team at the plate right here. And they've done it here already. This ball driven to right field, and that's going to get down. Rounding and heading to third is Amick. And hold the phone, first and third with 1 down for the Vols as Dreiling picks up his 4th hit of the night.
Wow. He's had 2 4-hit games in 4 College World Series appearances this year, and he gets, what is that? Is that a changeup, KP? Yeah, just a changeup kind of pulled to the outside part of the plate. Dreiling continues to barrel the ball up. Now 4 hits, and we talked about how big that 3-2 count was to Burke. Imagine if that wouldn't have gone Aschenbeck's way, but Tennessee making it interesting here in the 9th.
We started this College World Series with 3 games all ended with a walk-off. Ensley's got 3 hits. Aschenbeck's looking for a ground ball. Strike 1, 82-mile-an-hour breaking pitch to get ahead. Single strikeout homer. Tavares Tears has had big-time success here in in Omaha. Not tonight, though. That's another good one.
Back-to-back backdoor breaking balls. Get out in front of Ensley 0-2. His last time up, it was a breaking ball that he hit out, but it was off a right hand.
Trying to get him to chase, and he won't. Ensley's a redshirt junior, 6'1". Huntington, Tennessee. Outfield fairly deep. Center fielder Chestnut is in a little bit, and he spoils one there as he went up top.
That's the one where Aschenbeck gets a lot of his swing and miss. That ball just at the letters. Nice job there by NCC. Talking to home plate umpire Mike Morris about whether it was a ball or strike, and it was a ball, just a touch up.
No team in college baseball has won more games since the start of 2020 than the Tennessee Volunteers. 1-2 on the way to Ensley. And he went filthy slider down and in. Big second out and another punch out for Aschenbeck.
He could put a clinic on sometimes. Just pitch selection of locations. Climbs the ladder with that fastball. Gets the foul ball and then comes right back. And all 3 strikes in that at bat against Ensley were sliders. First 2 he took. This one back-footed him for the second out.
6 strikeouts in this game for Evan Aschenbeck.
It's 16 in the game for Tennessee.
Yeah. Tavares Tears. There's that swing and miss, the whiff on the high heater. They are a strike away from winning game 1. And he stays alive. Aschenbeck has recorded 7 outs, 6 of them by strikeout. Another foul.
Got to be a slider in here somewhere. Okay, KP keeps climbing that ladder.
Yeah, and you would think a slider, 8-10 inches outside, too, just to see if you can get Tears to go out of the zone to try to end this thing right now.
Can they get to Dean Curley? He's the freshman. He's on deck. It's 0-2 again to Tears in the dirt. Only a freshman, but he started this thing off by delivering a couple of hits in his first 2 plate appearances. Want to make sure they get the moment. Swing and a miss. The Aggies will take game 1. Aschenbeck strikes out 7 in relief, and they win it 9-5.
Pretty workmanlike today for the Aggies. A clean defensive sheet. They don't make any errors. Threw a ton of strikes. Offensively put 5 on the board. They gave him some distance in the 3rd inning. And then if the left-hander comes in the game, usually going to be a good night for the Aggies. And you punch out 7 of the 8 outs that you get, I'd say he was feeling pretty good.
Yeah, and 13 hits and 9 runs. Just a ton of clutch hits by this Aggie offense. Caden Kent continues to shine, and really a dream scenario for the Aggies because they still have some bullets to fire if they want to out of that bullpen. And the offense was plenty in this one to stay ahead of Tennessee.
They stay unbeaten in the NCAA tournament, and the next win for them will get them a World Series title. Again, 2 runs in the first, and things started from Jump Street with Gavin Grahovac going deep to right, the leadoff man with a homer on a 2-strike pitch. They got 1 more in the first, then they picked up 5 in the third as we send it down to KB.
Thanks so much, Ravi. Caden, what is it about you, the work ethic, that when your moment has been called this postseason, you've been able to deliver?
No, it's just the repetition of hours on hours, man. And baseball's a hard game. There's a lot of ups and downs, and right now I'm living on and up.
Been around a lot of baseball in your life. What's it like to produce in front of this kind of crowd?
Oh, it means so much. These guys, these fans support us till the very end, win or lose. And to be able to pull out a win, our team played amazing. Ryan pitched a great game. It was a fun game.
You are 1 win away from celebrating a national championship. How are you going to sleep tonight?
I may not. No, but you know, we're going to celebrate for a little bit right now, and I'm sure Schloss is going to say we got 1 more to go. So, and we do.
We'll see you out here tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thanks,
guys.
Caden Kent, a big part of this A&M offense. 9 runs on 13 hits. They did not commit an error. You got to turn the page pretty quickly. We're back tomorrow during the afternoon.